This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friends and I get together and we gorge ourselves on what's happening in the world of video games and entertainment.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $5 a month you gain access to not one, but two entire podcasts. $5 gets you Takeout, a monthly commentary track where we don't feel like playing something, so we talk over it instead. And $2 is so much simpler. It's everything else. It's the grab bag tier. Anything else that is not takeout is only $2 a month. That's a bargain, folks.
That's a discount. And we got something really
steal.
cool coming up.
Yes. All this and more. There's a $10 tier where you get exclusive pictures of everybody's favorite cast member of The Gorge, Peanut.
And occasionally cash.
Every now and then. But yeah, no, it's great. So, patreon.com/thegorge. Yeah. However much you can. We love it all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Peanut and Cash sounds like the name of like a cartoon that aired for one season on like Toon Disney.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because cash is short for cashew.
Oh.
right.
Oh my god. You're so smart, Saturn.
That means if you get a little puppy, you have to name it Wally.
Wally, like
Or
walnut,
Hazel.
cashew, and peanut. I actually already had a Hazel.
Then the other way around is Phil for Filbert.
Okay, that's cute. I had a Hazel. She's the meanest little dog.
Oh, that's right. You told me about Hazel.
Yeah, so the Hazel
Was
is
she
a
a Shih
no-go.
Tzu or something?
No, she was just a little rat dog mutt thing.
I see.
She was so
Hazel's
mean.
Just a very, Hazel for a mean dog just like conjures to mind a Shih Tzu. For some
Yeah, no, she
No,
was she was just kind of ugly.
That's her breed, is ugly.
That was her breed. It's just like ugly. She's
I like this Hazel.
Yeah, you know, like you remember Boo Boo, the way Boo Boo looked when he was an eyebrow dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that, but on a dachshund whose head is too big, and you kind of have an idea for what Hazel looks like.
Fucking JoJo-ass dog.
She was like the most, she was the meanest little dog ever. Peanut was terrified of her. But yeah, no, I maybe
Speaking
for
of,
$10,
hi, Peanut.
I'll let you see a picture.
Hi, Peanut. I'm sorry, Hazel's not going to bother you. He came in here running.
He's like, oh no, is she here?
Is she here? Oh no! Anyways, yeah, $10 a month. Maybe I'll post a picture of my horrible little dog that I used to have. Patreon.com/thegorge. Anyways, it's a roundup episode. Hi, folks.
It's been a couple weeks, so
2 weeks. Yeah, we took last week off because I was tired of doing content.
yeah, we did a lot of streaming.
We've been streaming a lot, so I felt like it was acceptable to take a week off from the podcast. Yeah. So here we are.
I had a very uneventful week, so I guess I'll start, which is just to say the thing that we all shared. We finished our group stream of the Devil episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
It's peak fiction.
It's a good
folks.
game.
It's a good game.
Yeah, they're getting up there on the Steam reviews. By the way, they want the goal for 500 because that's the threshold at which Steam stops saying very positive and starts, if you have enough reviews, saying overwhelmingly positive.
Yes.
Which they are very easily on track for.
They are at 420 right now. Nice.
Nice.
So they're getting there, which is very fun. And like, if you are interested in that and aren't sure that you want to spend the measly $10, you can either try the demo, which is completely free and is like a solid 2 or 3 hours of visual novel content to grind against your little brain, or you can watch us play it through VODs.
That's right.
Which is at both twitch.tv/mystery system and also I don't know what I guess the YouTube is youtube.com/@ttv-mystery systems. That's all I could really get.
Okay.
But I have the VODs both parts there if you want to peep those and maybe
How
buy the game or something.
exciting.
It was pretty good.
It was very good. Yes, we had a great time.
Yeah.
That game kicks ass, actually. So
My understanding is they're hoping to get an episode 2 out this year.
Good.
Oh, that's good.
Cool.
Okay.
That's not a release date, obviously. That's my understanding of what the hope is.
Right.
So we'll see. I know that episode 1 was also hoped to be released in November of last year.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Best laid plans of mice and men. I see. Well, that game was still super good as fuck. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really all I did, honestly,
That's okay.
aside from like booting up a couple of our normal.
Did you play that
Saturn
game?
Games.
Did you play that game on stream that you didn't like very much?
Right. Yeah, I guess I'll mention that briefly. I tried the early access demo for Parapedia, which is kind of a Polish cyberpunk Deus Ex I Divine Cybermancy-like. And I like the vibes of it, but it's really way too I Divine Cybermancy on that side of the equation for me to think it's actually good. Which is unfortunate, because there's a lot of stuff there that's cool, and a lot of things that clearly had a lot of thought and love put into them.
Yeah.
But the environments are just so big and fucking barren.
Yeah, I was there watching the stream, and I was just like, where's all the stuff?
Yeah.
The thing that doesn't work, that I feel like it really needs if you want to make a Deus Ex like it's something that is truly reminiscent of the original Deus Ex, is you need an environment that's a little more constrained and also has shit that you can meaningfully interact with beyond just being an enemy that you shoot with minimal feedback. I respect what they're trying to do. I might take a look at it again in the very far future
after a few updates.
Flesh that shit out. But I would say, for my money, it is not a robust enough sandbox to be interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But that's really been it. Lots of stuff I planned to do and then just didn't do because I've been tired and busy and have personal stuff going on. But,
sure.
The Of the Devil thing is a shining beacon.
It is.
Yeah, it was really
good.
fun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
That's me.
Oates, do you got anything?
I played some of Awaria, the Helltaker guy's newest video game.
Oh, I forgot that was out. What's that like?
It is an extremely hectic collectathon game built on a really short timer. So, your job as a repairman is to fix this particular broken down thing in this specific district while being pelted and attacked and harassed by ghosts.
Okay.
You have to ask for requisitions, which take a allotted amount of time. You can only carry 2 things at once, and you have to dodge whatever ghost of that level's gimmick is. Right?
Okay.
And at the end, if you beat it without getting seriously maimed or injured, you get to kiss the ghost.
Oh, nice. I see.
And,
which is what we all
yeah,
want.
which is what we all
God,
want.
right?
And this time around you play as a cute girl, so more reason to play it.
Who by all my understanding is that she joined this company with the specific intention of kissing.
Yes.
Her. It's the entire reason.
You were not supposed to be doing that. You were supposed to repair and get out before the ghost kills you. And her response is to complete the mission as requested, and then I guess to gloat, kiss the ghost.
And to be clear, the ghosts are all people who used to work this job who got killed by the ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, thus far, it's very fun, but it is extremely, extremely, I can only do, there's an easy mode and a normal mode and a hard mode, and I immediately went, well, I'm just going to do it in hard because they want you to get the golden end on hard. Which means that you only get one chance to do anything. If you get hit once, you die, right?
Right, okay.
Okay.
And on the second level, it is a shmups where you can only move in about, the levels are all supposed to take up the entire screen, right?
Right.
It's a quarter of the screen that you're actually able to move around in.
I see.
If that.
I see, okay.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 14 raid.
On top of the shmups happening, where she can spawn anywhere she wants.
Okay.
And you have to do all this while my understanding, I've only seen a little bit of the game. I haven't actually played it myself. My understanding is you're getting the parts to repair the machines, but sometimes you have to get the specific part that requires you to take 2 parts and then put them in a manufacturing bench and then put them together and then put that together with something else and yada yada yada. So you're doing a lot of like interacting with craft benches and like just waiting for it to finish while also trying to avoid being killed by a Toho boss.
I see.
It is insane.
There's a lot going on.
And I've only managed to start, like, I've only gotten into, like, level 4 of probably 12.
Okay. Well, you're chugging along at least.
It's about what you expect, which is, like, the music is a bop, the designs are cute, the story is an excuse to show off more of this guy's OCs.
That's correct.
Yep.
Is the game free like
Yes.
usual, or
Free to play?
Of course. What a
Much
king.
as the last one, it's free, and then if you want to tip him, you get a PDF with an art book and a recipe for some Polish food if you send him.
If you really want to, like, actually pay him, you can buy the soundtrack, but the game is free.
That's so funny.
Which is
that
like
rules.
I think is truly. Here's the thing. I love Of the Devil. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
I think it's a very good modern VN, one of my immediate favorites. I do think, however, that Van Ripper's mode of publishing Dojin games, which is make them free and then give you the art book with some stupid extra bullshit for $10, is like ideal.
It's the best way to sell a video game. Absolutely.
The game is free, but the special features aren't.
Because then, like, it moves. It's like basically free advertising, because it's like all the people who play it for free and don't shell up are going to contribute to people playing it for free who will shell up.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody's going to draw fan art of all these super great fucking character designs, like
Right.
always, right?
And in the case of Helltaker, he licensed out like 3 different Nendoroids and a pop-up parader.
He made so much fucking money just off of all these character designs. It rules.
I have the Nendoroid for Lucifer on my little toy shelf because it's just so darling. I couldn't not.
No,
you know?
I understand.
Like,
yes.
it's such a great approach to that.
Yeah.
I hope more things steal from that.
It's very smart.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did I get up to? I caught up to Severance.
Yeah!
Because I think when we were last talking about it, or rather, last time I was on an episode, I think Sarah had only started like the 3rd episode or so of season 1.
Right. So now Oates is completely caught up as well, which is great. And
Just
yeah,
leaves me.
it leaves only Saturn.
Saturn is the one holding back the Severance spoiler cast.
Yeah.
Here's my promise to you. You tell me when that season is done.
Okay.
And I will go through it at a speed such that we will be able to do a spoiler cast of it imminently.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Very
I
well.
just
Glad
need
to
to
hear
know when
that.
it's done.
Challenge
I just don't want to give Apple any more money than is strictly necessary.
That's
Understandable.
fair.
Have a nice day.
I think that's like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be over really soon because this episode that's coming out tomorrow is 7, and I think it's like season 1 where there's only 9 episodes. So,
Yeah.
So it's
If
7, 8,
there's-
9.
If there's 9, then tell me when 8 comes out,
Okay.
and I will start working on it.
That's smart. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So sometime next week I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's piddling along with Voyager with Sarah.
Always good. We skip a lot of episodes.
You in season 2?
We are in season 2, but we are not at Threshold yet. What episode did we just watch, Oates? I'm trying to remember.
I know you've watched at least up through 4.
Yes.
You should skip Threshold when it comes up on your watch.
No.
And then we should all watch it together when I get to Voyager.
I'm not waiting that long.
Ben, I'm sorry. I cannot caught into that.
We just got to the first of the O'Brien episodes for Voyager, which is we need to torture the Asian kid. So Harry Kim has been sent to 24th century San Francisco, where he's like, why am I back home? And why is everybody acting like my friend is like lost in space?
Right. So we watched one of the O'Brien Must Suffer episodes, but for Harry Kim, and said, "Oh, that's right," because we skipped an episode.
Oh yeah,
that was basically like Kes wants a baby, and Neelix is a horrid little creature and is jealous of Kes having male friends. And I literally, we got maybe 2.5 minutes into the episode, and I went, "Nope, I'm good."
No, yeah, that episode is you are not
rancid episode. You do not want to watch that.
Here's the thing. I like Kes as a character. I like Kes as actress. And she enjoyed playing that character too. The writers, they very often didn't know what to do with her, and like.
Oh yeah, they Deanna Troi her. Yeah, totally.
But the problem also is that then at a certain point she gets written out of the show because the executives just were like, "Nah, she's not working," and it's like no one in the writers' room is happy about that either.
Yeah,
and it just makes me feel so sad.
Well, I think the misstep, and I've complained about this viscerally on both BlueSky and in Big Gay Nerds, and I think also just in our normal group chat, but. The, like, catastrophic misstep they made with Kes is making her Neelix's child bride instead of what she should have been, which is a love interest for Doctor, right?
Yeah, I feel like her character would have worked a lot better if she wasn't shackled at the ankle to Neelix, who is just, like, every attempt to give him depth beyond being the comic relief character just fails, and I think that continues for like the entire show. I do not think there's really a single successful Neelix like character moment.
No.
But like if she had just been free floating, like, oh, she's also a weird alien from the Delta Quadrant, and like everything else about her is the same, she would have had a lot more freedom to explore. Like, here's the thing: you would have been able to have a character who's like, I'm like 3 years old, and that makes people uncomfortable, right? Because I have the lifespan of a dog, basically. Right. Like I will die by 10, and like you could have done interesting things with that as like her own person,
right?
But she has to be shackled to Neelix, and it just means that everything comes to ruin.
Right, and so she's shackled to Neelix, and so like all of her experiences are filtered through I am with Neelix. Which is just miserable, and like there's so much more chemistry between her and Doctor, right? Like, and they both have that same thing going on where they're both technically like newborns. Like, yeah, Doctor is based off a guy who already existed, but like this version of that guy, we're Soma-ing, right? Like this version of that guy has only just started to exist now. And he is like developing into his own person separate of Zimmerman, the guy who made him, right? Yeah. And it's like, oh, so they kind of have like a unifying thing going on here, and she wants to like be his nurse, and you know, like they work together, they get along, they like each other, and it's like, no, but she's shackled to this fucking golem of a character design who is just wretched. The more and more time I spend with Neelix, the less and less I like him.
I think they really went too overboard.
Yes.
Like I always joke about describing him as Snarf.
He literally
looks like Snarf.
He looks like Snarf. Yeah.
He looks like.
I feel like if you had literally put the cartoon character Snarf as animation cells in Voyager, it would look less upsetting than Neelix.
Yes.
He looks like the human personification of the Snarf parody puppet from the Too Many Cooks video.
Yeah.
I feel like you could even keep his horrible prosthetics and everything. You just make him a little more dialed down and give him like a black suit.
You know what?
Like straight
and
up.
Also
I think you could make it work if he had like gnome swag.
Here's the thing, and I know this is like, this might be doing like too much, but I literally think the only thing he had to do is keep everything, but let him have, God forbid, just let him have normal ears where human ears should be, instead of way the fuck up on like the ridge, just kind of jutting out like rat ears.
Yeah, and take out those god-awful contacts. So it's like those giant yellow-brown contacts they have that guy wearing. They're just awful. It's so off-putting.
My favorite thing about all of this is that the reason that they got him was because Rene Aubergenois and him were in a sitcom together where Neelix was the unfunny, boring straight man and Odo was the goof.
That's funny. That rules.
I cannot imagine Rene Aubergenois
playing the funny man,
the goofum.
Playing anything without the most heaviest of gravitas. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
he's just so serious.
apparently, like, I've seen an episode and he does a similar voice minus the French accent of when he is the funny chef who sings in The Little Mermaid. So
That is true.
Here's the thing, though. I do also have to issue a correction. He's not just here because of René Aubergenois, though.
No, but I mean, like the
he was also one of the earliest Ferengi on Star Trek.
That would also explain it.
But, you could improve Neelix so much by making him a Ferengi.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, I don't know if this is the first Ferengi episode or if it's like an early one, but I believe, I always can't remember if this is like him or Armin Shimmerman as Quark, but his justification for coming back was, I was one of the early ones when they were supposed to be the new Klingons, basically. And because I gave such a goofy performance, they ended up being really goofy. And I feel bad about that.
You should not feel bad about it, because that's the correct direction to take the Ferengi in.
Yeah, they rule.
Yeah, the thing is, I love the Ferengi, especially in Deep Space Nine. Ben, have you started Deep Space Nine? I forgot.
I'm on season 3 of Deep Space Nine.
Oh God, you're catching up to me. Oh God, I need to get back into it. But like, they're also like, they're so good in
they're so good
DS9. It's like,
they
I
are.
Want them to have been the new fucking Klingons or the new
Yeah.
Romans or whatever.
Yeah,
know?
no, they're perfect the way they are because they are such horrid little guys, and then they get like over the course of Deep Space Nine, they get so much development as like a species, and they become so interesting that like by the end of it, you're like, no, these are my little guys. Look at how they grow. They're perfect.
I'm still obsessed with having like this comical amalgamation of like, yeah, we are the uber capitalists, we follow the death church of capitalism, but we're still not as bad as humans because we never had fucking slavery. What's your guys' problem?
We never had slavery, and we've never waged a war. Like, that's
always, my favorite.
It rules.
It's like, this is what a society without conflict looks like, and there's plenty of things wrong with it, but
they
still have somewhat of a moral high ground.
Yeah, they have a moral victory over humans, which is extremely funny.
It's just so funny to have a species whose thing is like, here's the species that has never waged a war and has never had slaves. We're going to show how they can still be horrible anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But also can, over the course of Deep Space Nine, change, and they're still horrible, like, you know, they're still like little
absolute little rat fucks,
scheming little guys, but like they still can improve. It's like the most Star Trek you can possibly get to be like, yes, you know, because the like Ferengi are kind of human in their own way because they're so like, you know, capitalistic and greedy, right? And it's like they can like act as a stand-in to be like, no, a better world is still possible even for the fucking Ferengi, right? It's great. It's such a good embodiment. That's why Mike Stacklasa is wrong when he says Deep Space Nine is the dark one. Shut up. It's a good one. It's better.
It's the best one.
It's the best one.
I feel like I feel like the only reason he could possibly be saying that, aside from the obvious joke reason, is that like, because it's the one that has like an ongoing the State of Israel thing in it, and it's just like, I don't know, man. That is in fact the timber of most TNG episodes. It's just they move on to a different one later.
Yeah, like later on in Deep Space Nine, there's a running war plot. That's all I'll say. I want to keep it vague for obvious reasons. There's two of you here who are not that far along, and like that definitely brings in a different kind of tone. But it's still Star Trek. There's episodes of fucking Picard getting tortured often. Like, yeah. Like, it's fine. No, Deep Space Nine is the best one. I'm enjoying Voyager. I like Captain Janeway a lot. But Deep Space Nine is the best one. I don't know if there's anything Voyager could do other than end extremely well, which I know it does, to, like, unseat Deep Space Nine as the best one.
That is what I'll say for it, is I don't think it's, like... I don't know that the Season 7 of Voyager is, like, that great either. Like, it's Season 7 of a Star Trek thing. But it is, like, of the finales I've seen, my favorite of them.
Yeah, understandable.
It's a really good finale.
Yeah, and I will say Deep Space Nine, that's its only flaw, is its final season is pretty weak, but seasons 3 through 6 are the best Star Trek that's ever Star Trek, right? So it's okay.
Yeah. I will say that's why I don't want Sarah to skip Threshold until you get there, because I know that the degree of bad that Threshold is will coast her through the rest of the series.
So it's a comparison thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, it is entertaining bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it is so like bad Star Trek that every time you run into a bad Voyager episode, you go, "Well, it's not Threshold, so I don't know. It's pretty good."
It's like when Sarah and I watched the last night, and we're like, "Well, Transformers can't get worse than this, so we don't have to worry about it anymore."
That's literally it. Yes. Oh
Exactly.
my god.
By all accounts, depending who you ask, Threshold is the worst episode of Star Trek TV ever produced, at least in the classic era.
That's amazing.
Incredible.
Anything else, Oates? We kind of that was our weekly Star Trek update.
Yeah, you know. God, not much else. Still being very slow, puttering away at Warframe 1999, because I would like to play Pirate Yakuza very, very badly. But I know... Well, for starters, I would only have a week to play it, because, as we all know, Fallout 76's big update comes out on the 4th.
Oh my god, that's so soon.
I know.
Yeah.
And then a week afterwards, Sarah and I will be in San Diego for like a couple of days.
Nice.
Oh.
We're going to California for a couple of days, so that'll be fun.
So that is going to just have to wait until late March. Majima, my beloved.
Don't worry, you'll enjoy it when you get to it. I'll talk a little bit about that when it's my turn.
Okay. Other than that, yeah, not much else to say. Warframe's still good. I just I keep getting to that problem where like I start it up, I play a little bit, and then I go, I don't remember what I was doing last. And Warframe is a massive, massive series of different things to do with all sorts of little tasks to like kind of keep track of that I was just like, I don't really remember, and that's going to be a problem for later me, so I'm going to leave it alone.
Okay.
Understandable.
So I guess I'll go next because I'm sure Ben has a few things. Everything else is kind of stuff we've already talked about. I got caught up with, Severance with Oates.
Yeah.
That show's still really good. Otherwise I played like my holding pattern games. But most importantly, in fact, perhaps the most importantly, I bought Fields of Mystria. Which is just Stardew Valley but fantasy. And folks, it's good. I like it. The first day it was on sale, first off, it's an early access game. It is not even a 0.1 version yet, right?
Really? I thought it was fully out.
No, it is an early access game, and the next update is coming out March 10th. So the day before I leave to go to California. Great. But it's coming out March 10th. It is not even a full 1.0 version yet, right? And that is stunning to me because that game has a lot going for it already. The first day it came out, I played it for 6 unbroken hours without coming up for air, right? I make fun. I don't make fun of I don't like the framing of the cozy game, right?
Right.
When people are like, "Oh, this is a cozy game," because they're always dorky. They're always so like. There's just not a lot going on, right?
The stuff you'd see in the Wholesome Games Direct.
Yeah, it's always obnoxious. However, devastated to report that I am, in fact, the target audience for just Stardew Valley clones. It's sad, really. Folks, it's so sad. But it got its hooks in me. I played it for 6 hours the first night, and then probably another couple hours the next night. And have just been plucking my way through it ever since then. That game is fun. That game hits all the right spots. It's got farming. It's got house decorating. It has a UI so similar to Stardew Valley that Concerned Ape could probably sue, but has chosen not to, which is very kind of him. But it has like super cute character designs. It has, I think, a better hook. Because I never engaged with Stardew Valley. So the thing with Stardew Valley is that, like, you're kind of big motivator for going through the game is to restore the community center, right? And that
Mhm.
means like bringing stuff to, like, you know, one of every summer crop or one of every like spring fish, like spring freshwater fish, right?
Mhm.
And over the course of time, that will start to put the community center together. And when you finish the community center, you've like essentially finished the plot, in finger quotes, of Stardew Valley, right? And then
Mhm.
the other stuff is hanging out with townsfolk and romances and all that shit, right? And Mystria kind of has that, but it actually has like a better like little main questy thing where you are motivated to do stuff because there's an actual like there's two different kind of main quests. One, it focuses around the dungeon crawling mine element that kind of is again lifted from Stardew Valley, and the other is the like putting the town back together element, right?
Right.
And as you progress through the two of them, you start to unlock more stuff, and it's cute. It's really good. It feels a little bit more directed in that way. It's a thing I really appreciate. It has a really addicting gameplay loop of, so the town, it's a fantasy, like it's a little fantasy setting, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So the deal is that the town is receives resources from the kingdom based off of its renown. And so as you do stuff over the course of every day, you are turning, like, every time you turn in a quest, every time you turn in new stuff to the museum, because there is still a collectathon kind of element to it, right?
Right.
Every time you do that stuff, you gain renown, and every night that little bar ticks up a little bit more, and when you get another level of renown, you get a gubbin, right?
Ooh.
gubbin.
I am gubbin motivated, people.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I am very gubbin motivated. So every single day, you get a little bit closer to getting the town leveled up, and they'll give you a little bit of money, they'll give you a fashion item, stuff like that. So it's just a couple of tweaks to the Stardew Valley format that are very, very effective at just like completely swallowing my life, which it has done.
Mhm.
Which it has done. And it also has like super cute character designs. Like the art style for the character portraits is I'm sorry, Concerned Ape, I do love you. That's a man who has built a fucking empire with his own two hands and little else, just off the back of fucking Stardew Valley, right? Like the devil works hard, Concerned Ape works harder. But his character portraits are awful. I'm so sorry. I don't like them. They're not cute.
There is a reason why there is a Nexus mod in Stardew Valley dedicated.
Oh, there's dozens of them.
They're like
Fix the bed.
Yeah.
Fix Grandpa's fucked up bed.
Fix the fucked up bed. And then there's like tons of like mods to redraw those character portraits.
Yeah.
And
there are mods one hopes to restore the fucked up bed.
yes.
There's mods to make the bed worse.
Good.
It's like playing Umineko with the classic sprites.
Right.
It doesn't matter if they're ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not a professional artist. Even now, when he like redraws stuff for anniversary art, it's still his art. But like, you need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the human touch.
That's right. It is the human touch.
However,
but still, like for Stardew Valley, you've got to like, install things to maybe make those portraits a little bit more appealing, because this is a romance video game. There is a romance element to it, right?
Yeah,
I know,
obviously.
It's the Harvest Moon bit, right? Where it's like, oh, you can marry so-and-so. And, I do understand, though, if you're going to make a game where that kind of wish fulfillment is one of the core mechanics, they should probably at least be cute.
They should be much cuter than they are. And so the thing is, Fields of Mystery has really, really cute character designs. Those portraits they're all very like 90s anime looking in a way that I super fuck with. And they're all just like very charming. The art style is super good and I like it a lot. And yeah, that game is fun. If you're a sicko like me, buy it now. If you want to wait till there's more shit in the game, which fair, I would wait a couple of months before a few more updates to come out. That game is still actively being worked on, which is nice, but give it some time. It is an early access game. There's still a lot going on, but I think as updates come out, it will lose how much of a Stardew Valley clone it is, which I think is probably for the best. But yeah, no, that game is good. I like it a lot. And yeah, everything else has otherwise been holding pattern stuff and watching Star Trek, but we've talked about Star Trek enough as it is.
Yeah.
I will say before we go to Ben, I do like looking at Fields of Mystery and just how Game Boy Advanced the color palette is.
Yes.
Isn't it great? It's so like Link's Awakening.
That specifically like the pastel colors that the GBA could do really well.
The 256 like color palette.
Yeah.
Like if this were a lower pixel resolution for this screen, I would assume this was some sort of like advanced Mario and Luigi RPG fanfiction.
Yeah, understandable. It's
I
good.
just picked it up now.
Is it still on sale?
It's $14.
Oh, okay. So it's not on sale anymore, but
not
it's still
currently
cheap.
on sale. It's still not a bad price.
$14 is still pretty good.
We take those.
Yeah, we take those. Oh, is that really retired now? No way. Hold on. I was Googling something. Oh no! Is somebody else remake it? My favorite Stardew Valley portrait mod is retired. Are you kidding?
No!
That's so sad.
Oh my god, this is the saddest day of my life.
Did they get hired to do the pixel art for Fields of Mystery? And that's why it's no longer being developed?
I don't know. Wait, let me see. Oh, this is so because like the one I usually use is this one, but I haven't played Stardew Valley in like 2 or 3 years, so it's this one, and it's so cute.
Oh yeah.
It's Talk O'Hoolies, if you want to Google it. Maybe somebody else has remade it. They're super cute. That's a shame. Damn. Okay.
This is a good one.
Yeah, it's good art style, right? It's so charming and cute.
Wait, so that means retired means they're not actively working on it, or they took it down?
Maybe they're just not actively
it's
working.
Still up.
On
You can download it.
Yeah,
It's retired.
looks like it's still up.
Updated.
Okay, but I mean, like the problem is sometimes with mods, especially with Stardew Valley, a game that is always being updated.
Oh yeah, the mod might have been broken.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds like what is the problem. It has never been updated.
This is the saddest day of. Well, it updated extremely recently.
Yeah,
okay.
updated in June of last year, so that's pretty good.
Anyways, sorry.
Well, that was the news. Goodbye, folks.
That's all I got. Carry on. Ben, what you got?
I did a bunch of stuff. First, I'll talk since we talked about Voyager. I'll talk about DS9.
Oh, good.
I'm in season 3 now. Saturn, how far are you into season 3?
I have made it up to, not through the Bell Riots 2-parter.
Oh fuck yeah! Okay.
Okay, I am on episode 3. So I've seen the 2-parter intro of season 3.
Yes.
Where Odo learns about where he came from. I've met the Jem'Hadar.
Okay.
They are the worst.
Yeah, that's correct.
I've seen. I'm now up to, I guess 3 O'Brien Must Suffers.
Yeah, which one did you just watch?
Well, one of them, it was a fake O'Brien, so I don't know if that one counts.
But it was a perfect facsimile, which means it was basically really O'Brien.
Yeah, which is an insane episode. It rules.
Then there was the one where he was about to go on vacation, and then the Cardassians arrested him.
Yeah.
Also classic.
It was O'Brien going, "I'm gonna have a good day," and the Cardassians went, "Not on my fucking watch."
It is very peak, like, him as the avatar of anxiety in the way horror writers write, where he's like, I think today I'll go on a good vacation, and a Cardassian shows up like, by the way, you're being put on trial for a crime you definitely didn't commit, and you're going to be found guilty, and the sentence is death.
Yeah, it rules.
Great episode, by the way, incredible.
Yeah.
But the one I just finished after the intense 2-parter where Starfleet had to finally buckle down and build a warship, where Odo learns what he is and where he came from.
Sure.
The Federation and the entire Alpha Quadrant learned how fucking outclassed they are by the Gamma Quadrant. The last episode I watched is the one where a Klingon kills himself in Quark's bar and Quark has to marry his widow.
Yes!
That is so good.
Quark's
So good!
Then I have to stress, Quark's ex-wife is the most, like, my favorite character in all of DS9, and I'm sad she barely shows up.
She's got, like, I want to say 3 episodes.
Yeah, she shows up again.
Rilke comes back. She
Good.
comes back, which is great. But she is not, like, a recurring character as much as I would like her to be.
She is a guest star of the season, so, like, you're gonna get lucky to see her 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah, and it's so tragic because I fucking love that episode. I love his gay little bow when he comes in and he's wearing the fucking coat. It's too big for him. He puts his little hands together and does his little bow.
Yeah,
I love him
so
so
good.
much.
Okay, I was about to ask if you'd seen a specific episode, and I look, and it's not until the 21st. Oh, no, it's season 220. Oh, okay, so you did encounter. No, that's Voyager, excuse me. Why is it pulling up Voyager? Damn it.
Because Google is awful these days.
Whatever.
Google Foo used to mean something.
Yeah.
Now it's just useless. You can't
There's
Google
an
fucking anything.
episode that I want to know if you've seen, but I'm going to check what episode it is, because I don't want to even... Okay, the 9th episode of Season 3 is fun.
Okay.
I am not there yet.
Which one is it in as vague as term as possible?
In as vague as terms as possible, it follows up on a TNG episode.
Okay.
I'm not being any more specific than that, because I don't want to give it away.
I mean,
Okay.
I am looking it up right now. Oh, yes, I know. Yep.
So
Sarah, I'll just DM you a screenshot and you will immediately know which episode it is, okay?
Okay. That sounds good.
I also, while you're doing that, I also, obviously in the process, I've watched the crossover episode where Kira and Bashir go to the Mirror Universe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And was surprised to learn that's the second time the Mirror Universe. I thought the Mirror Universe was like a thing.
Well, it becomes a thing because of DS9.
Oh yeah, this fucking episode. I just saw that the thing Saturn sent me. Yes, great episode.
I thought the Mirror Universe was like a TOS like thing. Like, hey, we need a gimmick for the episode. Put him in the Mirror Universe.
It's famous because it is like the episode everyone ever talks about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Because
kind
it
of
spawned
overblown
the
into
meme.
people thinking that it shows up a lot, but no,
The
DS9
thing
is the only time it ever gets brought up again and expanded upon.
The thing about the Mirror Universe is its cultural impact is so outstretched that the idea of the evil twin has a goatee is specifically from that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it only ever happens the once, but it's just so outstretched from that. It's crazy.
Right.
It's very funny watching this episode and putting something together. I messaged Sarah about it too, where I'm like, because I'm watching, it's like, oh, here's what everyone is like in their alternate timeline, and for the most part, characters kind of do act the same but evil.
Right.
Like Kira is still kind of a hard ass and like a very detail oriented, like, commander type. O'Brien is still a put upon, like, snarky, pessimistic, mechanic genius, and Odo is still like a hard ass.
He's goo.
Yeah,
and then he gets exploded into goo,
And then
and
he
he's
explodes.
dead forever. Yeah, it rules.
but they turned Cisco into this like savage wild raider man.
Yeah.
And I realized the reason they had to do that is because regular Cisco already acts like a villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Avery Brooks plays Cisco
Like,
in the best way.
he plays Cisco as if the good guy were to act like a villain. Like, he's snarky and he's got this bitter sarcasm and he gets like furious at things.
Mm-hmm.
Cisco is the single Deep Space Nine character that you could put in Venture Brothers unchanged and no one would ask any questions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
actually.
Like,
He's got-
there's just this kind of acerbic space captain guy who's like kind of a nice dad, but is also like kind of tricksy and bitter and sarcastic and whatever. Yeah, no, that's just his deal. You said he's from something? What's a Star Trek?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Avery Brooks, there's an episode, and again, I shan't say a word, but there is an extremely famous episode of Deep Space Nine called In the Pale Moonlight. And it is so good about, like, showing exactly what kind of a guy Benjamin Sisko is. And I love it. He's so good. He just fucking... I might end up liking Janeway more just because she was made in the lab for me.
Yeah.
But, Sisko clears Picard so hard it's not even funny. He has already, like, absolutely leaped that man. It's insane.
And I like Picard a lot.
Yes!
Oh, yeah.
Understand? No, I love Jean-Luc Picard because he's such a funny stick in the mud, right?
Yeah.
But Sisko is so funny and just, like, he's got such a fun like, cause, like, the freaks in DS9 do so much shit that if you put Jean-Luc Picard on that base, he would quit in 2 days. He wouldn't last on Deep Space Nine, right?
There would be a season 1 episode of him having a stroke.
Yes! Like, no, Julian Bashir alone would chew that man up and spit him out, right? Not to mention his gay little, like, subplot with the Cardassian ex? Question mark? Spy? Question mark?
What do you mean spy? No, he's a tailor.
He's just a tailor, for sure, definitely. But no, Deep Space Nine would absolutely tear Jean-Luc Picard apart. And that's why only Benjamin Sisko could do this job, because he's so like, I don't give a fuck.
The thing about Picard is that Picard is so good at being a captain that he naturally draws competency in towards him. And that's why his crew that's why TNG is called competency porn.
Right.
Like,
totally.
he just draws the most naturally talented born leaders possible.
Right.
Sisko doesn't have that aura.
No, Sisko
he can't do that.
No, the thing is,
Sisko's a dad, so he attracts children.
Yeah,
exactly. Sisko is a dad, and he's a great father, by the way.
Oh yes, he's a great dad.
Despite being kind of like an insane person, he's a great father. And he, as a result, just attracts people that need to be herded, right?
Yeah.
Just like a bunch of children who need to be managed.
See, the problem,
and that's Sisko.
The problem is that if Picard were on Deep Space Nine, no one else would be on Deep Space Nine. He would have just replaced them with more competent, functioning people.
That's correct.
So it would not be the same. Like, Odo and Quark would be out of jobs.
Yeah, Quark especially would be out on his ass. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
The opinion I continue to hold is that Janeway is the captain who I most want to see on TV, and Sisko is the captain who I most want to serve under.
Because so much of Sisko is literally him just going, fuck it, just do whatever you want, it's fine.
There's a great early bit where I think it is Bashir talking about, like, hey, Commander, I need to take a runabout in the middle of the night and go to a place that I can't tell you about. Yeah. And he's like, by all means, do you need 1 or 2 runabouts?
Yeah. Sisko's so fucking funny.
He rules. He's so fucking funny. It's just like, did you really think this was gonna work, Julian? Like, did you really think I was just gonna be like, yeah, go right ahead? No.
And it's funny because if this was, for instance, say like Picard and Riker.
Yeah.
And Riker was like, Captain, I need to take a runabout on a mission that I can't tell you about. Picard would be like, I trust you implicitly, Commander. You can take that runabout right away.
I do feel like Picard would be like secretly going back, like, all right, find out what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
I do, however, think Janeway, if like B'Elanna's like, Captain, I need to take this runabout and I can't tell you why, Janeway would be like, well, go ahead.
Yeah, no,
and then just go back to drinking her coffee and reading the paper or whatever.
That's totally the
like,
thing.
Do you really not care? And Janeway just looks at her like, I'll care when it becomes a problem.
That's the difference, because Sisko is just like, are you fucking stupid? No.
Yeah.
And Janeway is like, fine. Be back by 11.
Captain Janeway, can I stick this fork in this power outlet? And she's like, well, you can find out.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite bits about her that we have covered, at least thus far with Sara, is just how upset she is that she has to bend the rules and make all of these terrible things happen just in order to get all of these people home. And then the very next episode is just like, we're going to make a detour because I would like some coffee.
He rules. It's incredible. I just want to fucking plaster my walls with pictures of Catherine Janeway. It's insane. I just feel like a teenage boy who wants to like cover my locker in pictures of this like 30-something-year-old woman. Right? I'm just like, I love you.
Oh, I need to talk about my favorite DS9 O'Brien Must Suffer episode I've seen so far.
Please.
Which is the one where the planet tricks DS9 into thinking that O'Brien and Bashir died in an explosion.
Great one, yes.
And the reason they figure it out is because Keiko's watching the security footage, and she's like, "He never drinks coffee in the afternoon. This is looped audio." And then,
oh my god! And the twist at the end.
The episode ends where he's like in the hospital, and he's like, "Keiko, can you bring me a cup of coffee?" And she's like, "You never drink coffee in the afternoon." And he's like, "Well, sure I do." Yeah, she just gives this really concerned look, like what?
It rules. It's so funny. Oh god, it's such a good show. The problem is I really want to rewatch Deep Space Nine, but I have to I'm after I finish Voyager, then I'll rewatch Deep Space Nine. It's fun.
Yeah, and then watch Lower Decks, and then honestly, you might want to watch the Orville.
If not the Orville, I'm gonna switch over to Babylon 5.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably gonna switch over to Babylon 5 and or Stargate because I really like Stargate.
Yeah,
because I've been getting YouTube short clips of the Orville, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is just funny Star Trek.
Right?
Isn't that the one that's headed by Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah.
It is.
And apparently Seth MacFarlane just really loves Star Trek and just wanted to make Star Trek.
Oh, word.
I believe it.
Oh, word. The guy who was constantly getting George Takei to do voices for him.
Yeah,
and also Patrick Stewart, nonstop, constantly, and he's always making Riker jokes. That Seth MacFarlane? No, he doesn't say.
I forgot Patrick Stewart is a main character in American Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Do I respect him? No. However, I think anyone who does that who's like writes that Family Guy bit where it's like it insists upon itself while he's drowning. I think that guy at least knows a little what's up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, I also did a bunch of other stuff.
Tell us about it, please.
I watched every dubbed episode of Dragon Ball Daima.
Oh, right. I wanted to talk about that too.
Dude, Dragon Ball Daima's really good.
It's really cute, isn't it?
It's really obvious that Akira Toriyama wanted to write a JRPG.
Yeah, I think years of being the character designer for Dragon Quest got like a bug in him where he was just like, can I write one, please? Can I write the next one? Can I please write the next one? Why not? Why not?
I was expecting it to be kind of like more adventure based, like original Dragon Ball, was. I was not expecting for them to get into an airship, go to a town, and stay at the inn overnight,
and then have their car stolen for a side quest.
And then they have to walk because they lost their airship and they can't fly, so they have to walk to the next town, where they meet a pit stop where a woman sells them bugs that heal status ailments.
Yeah.
They meet a little thief girl who turns out to actually be a princess.
Uh-huh.
Wow. All right.
It's a fucking JRPG.
It's so good. I really like it.
Goku's whole thing is the Jade Curtis thing of like, I need to get used to this decreased power and the increased weight of the air on this planet, so I can't fight as good. I'm gonna have to work on getting to my strength back up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still 20 levels over everybody else in the party.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the part where like a Forge Master takes the power pole and increases its strength and says, "Come back to me if you want to make your power pole stronger."
I have even funnier news, Ben.
What's that?
Classic Toriyama bit. They go out of their way to show off the power pole and go, "Oh, this is going to be important," and I think he forgets it again.
Great.
This fucking guy.
I
no.
feel like you just let me know when Daima has an episode where there's like a dragon, and it's like, oh man, we have to fight this dragon, and then Goku's literally like, we've been fighting this dragon for like an hour and a half, and we're only through 20 of its 50 life bars.
Well, there's something similar to what's happening in like the penultimate episode. It ends next week or this Friday.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you guys
okay.
wanted to watch it, you can get started on the dub now.
I am waiting until it's fully dubbed. I'm going to watch it weekly with the dub.
I had to watch it with Grandma Goku. I couldn't.
Like nothing against the Japanese version. It's just that the English version is what I grew up with. It's what I was forged on, and it just doesn't feel right to me. And plus Stephanie Nadolny is doing an amazing job as Goku again, and getting to hear her is phenomenal.
My thing with the anime has always been like, okay, if it's set in Japan, I always want to listen to the original Japanese dub, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, if it's Asian at all, I want to listen to the original Japanese dub. I think Dragon Ball is literally the single exception, because every time I hear a Japanese character voice, even if it's someone who's been voicing a character for like 20 or 30 years, I was like, that's not right.
Oh, yeah.
That's not Sean Schemmel. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, no, totally.
It's the other thing I will say about it is that the anime, I was not expecting the animation to be this gorgeous.
Oh yeah, because this has one of the longest production times of any anime period. It's like they, according to what interviews have been saying, they've been working on episodes as far out as 2017. So like Dragon Ball Super was coming out and they were already working on this series.
That's insane, because there's one shot in the first episode that like set the tone for the rest of the series. And it's a shot of Goku sitting in a chair, and he leans back and he puts his hands behind his head.
Right.
And normally you would just he'd lock his fingers when they're already behind his head, right? He locks them over his head, and his hands brush through his hair, and his hair moves with his hands.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh.
There are multiple parts in every episode where everything is animated on the ones like a Disney animated film. It's it is gorgeous. I cannot stress enough. This is an OVA series.
Not
a TV series.
He flies or moves fast enough, his hair and his gi move, and these things were his hair is locked in place in Super.
Yeah.
No one's hair moves in that series.
No one's hair is flapping in the wind. No,
right.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
No, Daima is so good. I'm in love with it. It's just nice. It's just nice to have some new Dragon Ball content that's like really, really good. It's nice that just like Broly, Toriyama looked at GT and was like, I can fix that. Because Glorio is just Trunks, and Pansy is just Pan.
Right.
Like it's the exact same dynamic they had. And yes, I know what happens in the later episodes. Don't worry, Twitter told me. All of Japan screamed so loud you could hear it from the other side of the world, just like when Goku hit Super Saiyan 3 for the first time. Yeah, no, yeah, it did not take long for the spoiler embargo to be lifted.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I saw, trust me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh.
Don't worry then. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It'll come to you when it comes to you.
No, it's Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Toriyama.
Saturn doesn't care, you guys.
I do know what you're talking about. It just literally didn't register.
Yeah.
No.
Toriyama made Super Saiyan 4 good.
It's Super Saiyan 4. They canonized it and they made it look good. Yeah, that's it.
It's a great design. Wow.
Yeah, it rules. It's extremely good now.
It's funny because like I hate the design of Super Saiyan 4 like in GT, but the Daima one I'm like, oh no, that's how you do it good. That's how it looks good.
I've said it before, like elsewhere, but I really like how both its design and the way they animate it. It is very clear that Toriyama had a bit of like a reverse inspiration where he like years of hanging out with Eiichiro Oda made him go like, I want to do something kind of goofy. I want to make like a transformation that's dorky, but like fun. And Super Saiyan 4 in motion feels like that. You'll see when you like actually get to it.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, I have a rant prepared about Super Saiyan 4, about GT in general, but I'll get to that later. Maybe when Daima's finished and Oates and I do a Daima spoiler cast.
Sure. That'll be fun.
That's when we'll have the War of the Gorge, where you two do your Daima spoiler cast, and then Sarah and I do the LB7 spoiler.
Yeah.
As we cut them together, it'll just cut back and forth.
Whichever episode gets more views or listens or whatever gets to be the new duo whose podcast it belongs.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to break the fellowship.
Civil War. So, after I finished watching all the dubbed episodes of Daima, I was on Crunchyroll and I went, hey, wait a minute. We never watched the last episode of Dawn to Dawn. So I watched the last episode of Dawn to Dawn.
You're right, we didn't.
So I watched that, and then I went, all right. And then I read 150 chapters of Dawn to Dawn in the span of 2 days. I am now caught up on Dawn to Dawn.
So, Ben, how do you feel about Dawn to Dawn?
It's really fucking good.
Yeah, a word?
It's got a really, really great, like, the party members that get added to this JRPG party of fuck-ups keeps getting better and better.
Great.
They're all stupid.
Good.
My minimum. Here's the thing. I know very little about Dawn to Dawn beyond what we watch. I still need to watch that last episode, and probably need to also read it myself. I seen that fool with the antenna. You know that one?
Yeah.
I seen them, and I want to know what they're about.
You'll like them, Saturn.
I want to see them. I've seen enough of them to know that I'll like them, but I need...
Dawn to Dawn has the best Persona party ever.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Dawn
to Dawn is extremely Persona adjacent.
It's Persona coded like to hell and back.
Yeah, that's true.
It always confused me a bit. I'm like, well, this is like a rom-com anime, right? Why does it have such a huge like ensemble main cast? And then learning that part of the original thing was that he just wanted to be a shonen star, again, a battle shonen starring a girl, right? And I'm like, oh, I see. Okarun was just supposed to be your first party member in his Persona 3 manga. I see.
Yes.
He's so smart. He wanted Momo to be the main character, and that's why Momo is the best character in Dawn to Dawn.
She essentially is the main character. Like as the series progresses, she is essentially becomes the main character.
That makes sense. He's so fucking smart. God, he's so smart.
And you know, that's a thing you can do when your shonen is successful, and then you start to get making demands to the editorial board and not the other way around.
Because you know that editorial board is sweating like shit because One Piece is ending. They're like, you can have whatever you want.
There were several moments, like a ton of moments in the manga where I'm like, I cannot wait for that to be in the anime. Then it'll finally make sense.
I always like whenever a new production on Shonen Jump starts getting big enough to be in shape. Because my favorite archetype from a similar Shonen Jump, not similar, but from also a Shonen Jump Plus, from Chainsaw Man Part 1's early run, is the anecdote of a time where Tatsuki Fujimoto was thinking about, like, well, at this moment, I either want to kill character A off or character B off, right? Like, I need to kill one of them. I'm not sure who I want to do. Editor, what do you think I should do? And the editor goes, well, I think you should probably kill off character B for this reason, that reason, the other reason. And Fujimoto goes, okay, and then he kills off character A.
Great.
Legend.
Fantastic. Good for him.
Also, speaking of Chainsaw Man Fujimoto, word, the writer of Dawn to Dawn used to be an assistant for Chainsaw Man? What?
Oh,
really?
yeah?
Wow. Huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Shocking. Yeah, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I obviously haven't seen as much as you have, but whenever I see caps from the manga, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a guy with the exact aesthetic sensibilities required to be someone who worked on Chainsaw Man for an extended length of time. Like, you can really feel the blood there.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of monster are they gonna fight in this little reality warp bubble thing? Oh, it's a bunch of like headless men standing in a line with like holding a sword. Like, oh, okay. Really? Chainsaw Man, huh?
Aren't you having like kind of a goofy boner comedy rom-com thing going on? What if here is the most horrible thing you've ever seen?
Yeah.
And what if it was funny that it was the most horrible thing you've ever seen?
So yeah, Dawn to Dawn's really good. What else did I do? Melissa and I watched Fire Walk with Me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell the public about your opinions. I think we've heard it before. But
How do I
reiterate
put
it for the people.
my feelings for Fire Walk with Me into words? If I had to pick 4 words, it would be I didn't like it.
If I was gonna pick 4 words, it would be Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah.
Like to bring up something we brought up before, I did not care for Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah.
It
no,
insists
that's okay.
upon itself.
Yeah.
That's why I've always said, like, Ben, the litmus test for whether you'll like The Return or not is going to be how you feel about Fire Walk with Me. And I feel comfortable telling you, and like, obviously you can continue, you can go watch it if you want to, but I feel comfortable telling you in advance, you aren't going to like The Return.
Yeah.
I'm confident of that.
And
Yeah.
it didn't take long, but I did have to think about like what the difference was here, because it did feel a lot more like season 1. Obviously, it's because it's a prequel to season 1.
Right.
And I'm trying to think like, well, what didn't I like about season 2? What did I like about season 1, and why didn't this work for me? And you know, I didn't think Wyndham Earle was a compelling antagonist. I didn't like that there was an antagonist. Period.
Right.
Like I thought the fun, intriguing part about Twin Peaks, season 1 was that there wasn't a mustache twirler. It was an unknowable force that was just this weirdness in the town, right?
Sure.
And I realized the thing why I didn't like Fire Walk with Me was it didn't have the balance of Coop's earnestness clashing with the sinister underlying of the town.
Right.
Like
Maybe you will like The Return.
Like the thing that I liked about season 1 and part of season 2 was that Coop had this genuine personality. He was he appreciated the small things in life, and he had this brightness to him that contrasted with the horrible crime that he was investigating.
Right.
And the way what he brought out in the people he interacted with, and how that all added up.
Right.
When you take that away from it, you're just left with bad stuff, and it just wasn't as compelling without that contrast there.
Right.
It's like, oh, Laura's into bad stuff. Well, I knew that already.
Right.
It's not improved by me seeing it happen.
I will say, at least then, understanding that that's the specific thing that you didn't like about it makes me think that you might there's still a chance you might like The Return.
Yeah.
You might like The Return. It's like 50-50 odds still. It is funny because I enjoyed I guess I didn't enjoy Fire Walk with Me because it's misery, but I liked Fire Walk with Me, right? And I did not like The Return.
It felt it definitely felt more interesting than season 2.
It's all David Lynch. It's very, very not much of his. I don't remember what his collaborators are. Mark Frost.
And it's not quite it though. Like it is like I understand, but the thing is like both Fire Walk with Me and The Return are entirely Lynch and Frost. Period. The thing about Twin Peaks season 1 and 2. A lot less Lynch and Frost than you'd expect looking at the credits for individual episodes. In fact, Mark Frost was maybe involved more, but was still kind of like in and out and not doing a lot of writing credits on most of the episodes, and that including like both good ones and bad ones. And part of the thing with Fire Walk with Me and The Return is that in both cases, it is the Lynch and Frost show, period.
Right.
And it means you get some of the high highs of like the things that they like and think are cool, but it also means you get the low lows of when it's the Lynch and Frost show.
Correct.
Right.
You don't have more grounded writers perhaps contributing to the thing like you do frequently in both seasons of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, so it just didn't work for me, and I'll see what The Return does in it.
Yeah.
I'm
interested for you to watch The Return. Yeah, dude.
I also felt like, if you're going to make a prequel movie of this town, we didn't see a lot of the town.
Well, it's very specifically about Laura.
Yeah.
It's not like a prequel movie.
Right.
Like, it's not actually, I mean, like, we call it a prequel movie, but no, it's not, because you can't.
It's about Laura,
You should not watch this movie before you watch.
Right, yeah, no, not at all.
Right? That's insane.
It's an interquel, really.
Fire Walk with Me is the Fate Zero of American
Yes.
TV.
Yes. But no,
I just like, I should start here, right? And it's like, no, stop, his AirPods are in, no.
I just felt like it I don't know. I felt like it didn't do enough. It didn't work.
I have a weird, I like Fire Walk with Me a lot, but that's mostly because I think the most compelling part of Twin Peaks is that Twin Peaks is a movie about women who are insane, driven insane by men, right? And, like, that's the plot of Fire Walk with Me, right?
Right.
Which is just, like, the worst women in the world are that way for a reason. And it's all bad.
Yeah.
And I liked that, but it is also a stone cold bummer. Holy shit, that movie is a stone cold bummer. So, like, I get it,
Yeah.
but, like, it's interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, I did not care for Fire Walk with Me.
That's fine.
What I did care for, though, is Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Yes!
Now I'm not gonna spoil too much because I know Oates is gonna play it. But that's a fucking good ass playing video game. That combat feels real good.
I don't have much to say other than like, oh, word, Majima, the Virgil of the Yakuza series has a fun moveset.
Yeah.
The man is doing air combo.
Yes.
What I've heard from other people, and this is more relevant to Oatsy than it is to Ben, because Ben, I know you've only done the turn-based ones. Oatsy, what I've heard from other people who play this is like, it's very good, but if you're a series veteran, you need to play on hard.
I need it
because you can destroy things so fast you don't really get to. If you know what you're doing, you can destroy things so fast you don't actually get to use any of your fun tools.
Oh, that's so sad.
So what I've heard from other people who have played more of the live action ones is like, you should, if you're a veteran, you should definitely play on hard.
It's on American normal.
Yeah,
exactly, because you're in Hawaii now.
Yes, exactly.
That makes sense.
I will. So besides the piracy mini game is a lot of fun. You get in naval battles on the ocean, and then you can do boarding raids where you have you and your crew against their crew, and you can have 20 NPCs on your crew versus they're like 30, and you go around and you recruit people. Like it's literally quit your job, join my emo band.
Yeah.
Like there's folks around Hawaii that like you talk to them and they're like, oh man, I wish I had something fun to do. And Majima's like, come join my pirate crew. And they're like, I don't wanna. And you give them $1,000 and they say, I wanna.
Again,
I'll do anything
sounds like
for
my boy.
$1,000. Get scurvy.
And so like, you throw it's a lot like a more dignified Sujimon battle. Because you're not, like kidnapping people.
Sure.
And just being in charge and ordering these like eccentric homeless people to fight each other. I'm surprised there's not Sujimon battling in this. Like that seems like something Majima would have fun doing. But
Seems like an easy W.
I actually don't think that is in his wheelhouse because I do recall in Kiwami he has no interest whatsoever in like the that version of the underground tournament, which is watching girls fight, because he's like, look, I'm not into cockfighting. I'm not. Okay. I'm not. Well, like, I want to be part of it. I want to be there. I want to be the cock. Wait, hold on.
Well, see, part of the funny thing and why I think it might work though is that the joke in Infinite Wealth is that Ichiban also doesn't really like Sujimon battling.
I see.
He thinks it's weird, and like people keep insisting that he does it, but he's a Yakuza protagonist, so he goes, "Well, I guess I gotta."
Yeah, that's true. I feel like Majima is because of what kind of character he is, he asserts himself way quicker, so Tsujimon never becomes the thing because the guy goes, come on, you'll like it, and he knifes the guy and walks away.
But so and you have your two modes. You have Mad Dog and Sea Dog mode, where Mad Dog is like a standard Yakuza classic moveset, and then Sea Dog is he has the swords and the grappling hook and whatnot, and the flintlock pistol.
That's one, baby.
Mad Dog is a bit more for like one-on-one battles, and Sea Dog is more for like like multiple enemies and attacking you at once type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It does one thing at the beginning of the game that I found to be hilarious.
Uh-huh.
So, the premise of it is Majima washes up on the ocean or on the beach, and he's got amnesia. He doesn't remember anything about himself. And he meets a little boy, and the little boy gives him water, and the boy gets attacked by pirates, and Majima's like, well, you help me, little boy, so I will fight for you.
RGG Studios is reading my Xenos fan fictions. Fucked up.
Oh.
And so the little boy is like, okay, well, and like, the setup is, Majima is going to be like a father figure to this little boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're setting up the big brother Aniki thing with Majima and this 10-year-old boy that he's got to take care of now.
Sure.
We can convert it to fan fiction vision. Xenosia Galf is going to be a father figure to Nashi, I suppose.
No, I got it.
And so the boy is like, I'll take you to my home, and it's this little rinky-dink village on a small island.
Sure.
And he's like, okay, well, I'll take you. It's like, okay, well, you go to he lives in a bar, and you're like, oh, well, we'll meet the crusty old bartender that hates him, and then he'll be like, oh, this is his chance to escape and have a real father figure. And the bartender is his dad.
Yeah, no, yeah.
His dad's just alive and okay.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, well, okay. And then, the kid Noah, he talks to Majima, and he's like, oh, man, the one thing I want to do in my life is I want to leave this island and go on a real pirate adventure. And Majima's like, hell yeah, kid, I'll do that because you gave me water.
Yeah.
And so the thing will be like, oh, well, Noah and Majima will set off, and like, his dad will stay behind, and so you can still be the father figure. His dad comes with you. And his dad is like your sidekick for the most of the game, like your first mate.
Yeah,
because
that's a good dad. He can't let his kid go off unsupervised with a stranger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, well, wait, it reminds me of that old joke I saw on Twitter, I think, or on Tumblr, where it was like the idea of mob going up and being like, hey master, I have a parent teacher conference tonight. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll go with you in that. And he's like, no, I mean, I need the day off work. I'm going with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, no. Reagan is not, like, Mob has a good relationship with his father. Reagan is not his replacement father figure.
No, but this does perfectly encapsulate the family the neighborhood dynamics of Hawaii, which is like, oh, word, you fought for me? You're my uncle now.
So it's just you just hang out with this guy's dad, and he's this American named Jason, and he's actually really cool because he fights with his fists. His only weapon is he has a metal bracer that he can use to block swords. Okay. Like he doesn't wear gloves or anything like that. The only thing equipment he has is that, and he just uses it to block sword swings.
Like Wonder Woman.
He wears a backwards baseball cap and like a flannel shirt and jeans and like ruddy sneakers. His pirate the sign that he's become a pirate is he puts the trucker cap on backwards like a bandana.
Yeah.
And your other second in command is a guy he knows from his old old seafaring days, who's the ship's cook, and he's wearing his old catering uniform from his previous job. Like he's got the tiny apron and like the collared shirt that has like his company's logo on it.
Oh my god.
And he wields a giant meat cleaver.
Well, yeah.
God, it's so good. It's so good. I'm loving it.
I'm so glad Majima finally got a spin-off game. He deserves that.
It's for real.
I got to this isn't really a spoiler because it's pretty obvious that one of them would show up. At one point, Saejima shows up to, take Majima back to Japan.
Yeah,
because he has amnesia.
He shows up in the trailer. I know he's in it.
Like he has amnesia, and obviously Saejima's like, "Hey man, you've got amnesia. Time to go to a hospital in Japan." And Majima, and he sees Majima dressed like a pirate, being like, "No, I need to sail the high seas." And Saejima's like, "God fucking damn it."
Yeah.
Like he didn't expect this, but he had to have been expecting something.
I know, I forget. Did you see a ton of Saejima in either of the Like a Dragon games?
In Lad 7, he shows up as a boss fight with Majima, and it's your first boss fight where you go, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. Okay. I was like, if you go back to the earlier Yakuza games, you'll find out more about him. But I think the important thing to know about Saejima is he basically has a much more pared down version of Kazuma Kiryu's exact backstory, except he's just normal.
Yeah, I saw more of him in 8. He's in Infinite Wealth a bit more, and so I got to see like more of what his deal is. And no, I'm not surprised at his reaction to Majima being a amnesiac pirate who's hanging around with this 10-year-old kid and his pet tiger, being just going, "Of course it's this."
Yeah.
Of course it's this.
'Cause,
why would it be anything else?
I guess I need to stress this one tiny little detail is Saejima is to Majima what. Ooh, this is hard because I realized you barely interacted with him. He's basically the Kiryu to Majima's Nishikiyama.
Yeah, he's Majima's his blood brother.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
they emphasize that.
He's the cool, quiet one who's a little bit older, has his head on his shoulders, and would do anything for his little brother.
Including go to jail.
Including go to jail for 20 years for him.
Who hasn't gone to jail for 20 years for someone else in these games?
Yeah, everybody's gone to jail for 20 years in Yakuza. That's all I've learned from these conversations.
That's just what you do for your blood brother.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess so.
So his entire character is, despite them not being blood related at all, is just constantly like, I cannot believe my little brother's doing this stupid bullshit.
Now, I can't say personally whether, how the cards fall out. Obviously, I would try to go to jail for you if I could or whatever. But I do, however, expect that all three of you would throw your lives away to go to jail for me.
I don't expect anybody to go to jail for me because I'm not going to jail for anybody. I spent one night in jail and I hated it. Fortunately, it goes both ways. Don't go to jail for me. Do not go to jail for me, please.
I'll go. Guns blazing for you.
No,
don't do that either.
No, don't do that. No,
they won't take me to jail for you because
they'll never take me alive.
That will prevent them from taking me alive.
That's correct.
I'll take cyanide for you.
Yeah, okay. Jail was awful for one night. I can't imagine jail for longer than one night. Thank you. So no, do not go to jail for me. Thank you.
What if instead of jail for one night, prison for 20 years?
Bad. Terrible.
Worse.
That's so much worse. I don't know. Maybe there are more activities in prison. I was really bored in jail mostly and cold.
Prison has more going in it, but I mean, it's still prison, so you're doing labor. So
yeah, you're still doing labor and unless you get jails in certain don't go to jail. Especially don't go to jail in Alabama. Oh my god.
But if you get a white corporate prison,
yeah, I mean, if you're going to prison for white collar crime for me, that's okay. Don't go to Supermax.
I'm taking
notes.
Don't go to
Supermax for me.
Sarah, I will go to Scandinavian prison for you.
Thank you. Yeah, you can go to if you go to jail for me in Norway, fine, that's acceptable. I would go to jail for you in Norway too, Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we're this is everybody's taking notes at home. I see.
So this is where our loyalties lie.
They're taking notes about our friendship relationship charts.
So viewers at home, here's all you need to understand. If I end up in prison in Scandinavia, I took the fall for Sarah for something. If I end up in prison for any other reason, it's because of something I did.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I see.
I'm thinking of the TF2, the TF2 comic where Scout's on trial and the judge is like, if you could just tell us your accomplices, and Scout's like, hey, no one said I couldn't name names.
Yeah.
But no, Pirate Yakuza is really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. And once I finish that, I might even pick up Zero again.
Nice.
And just,
I
I think now is the time to actually play the other games and get context for this 60-year-old man.
That's correct.
There have been
Zero
several.
would definitely be the easiest one to pull into, especially after doing a bunch of action combat as Majima, because it's a game where you spend half of it doing action combat as Majima.
Like, there's been several occurrences, like during the inevitable fight between Majima and Saejima. Like, they're like, the crowd around them are like, these two guys are fucking 60.
Yeah.
You know,
It's gonna be fucked up when you go back to Zero and you're like, here he is, Goro Majima, the ultimate badass in the prime of his life, and he's weaker than he is when he's an amnesiac 60-year-old man.
yeah.
But that's it. That's all I did. Oh, Matt Mercer does a really good job as Majima.
Matt Mercer is Majima?
Yeah.
I can hear that.
They weren't gonna get Mark Hamill.
No, Mark Hamill doesn't even remember voicing Majima.
I don't know who else you would get, honestly, but
I seem pretty good from what I saw of it. I obviously, here's the thing, my other point of reference being his performance as Mark Hamill. I kind of wish he sounded a little goofier.
Yeah.
But like he's not doing a bad job. He's doing good.
He does do a good job of Majima's hyena laugh.
That's good.
Okay.
I can
He gets that hee pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, J. Michael Tatum would be really good, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be really good.
He could pull it off, yeah. But no, we got news.
We got news. It's already been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Let's do this news.
Okay.
Everything we saw at the 2025 State of Play.
It
wasn't that much.
It wasn't much.
Was I present for that
pretty
one?
lame.
You were not.
We didn't stream it or anything. We just watched it.
Okay.
They announced the new Shinobi.
Cool.
By the time the guys who did Streets of Rage 4.
Looks cool.
Sonic Racing, they said it's going to have other Sega characters, so maybe Kiryu will be in this one.
That'd be really funny. I think Kiryu should race Sonic. I'm cool with that.
Digimon Story Time Stranger was announced, and that looks really cool.
Yeah, they were like announcing that, and I'm like, what is this? I was really hoping for a Tails.
Oh yeah, I was there for this. I remember calling calling the Digimon shop before anybody else could.
Yeah, I was really hoping for a Tails game, though. I did not get a Tails game. It's a Digimon game instead.
Yeah,
okay.
I haven't played any of the. I've heard people like the PS4 ones. I never played them. This one, at least, this one looks like it has even more money, though, which is like, I don't know, that's kinda cool.
We saw. What else did we see here? Oh, Dave the Diver has Ichiban in it now.
That's funny.
Good for him. Good for Ichiban.
That's on it. What else did we see here?
Is there anything of note?
It was
we
not.
saw that one, and it's like it's not really of note because it's one of those like CG trailers. So who the fuck knows when it will come out or be real? But we saw that cool looking like Arthurian Dark Souls game.
Oh yeah, the one that was more, Devil May Cry than Dark Souls. Yes,
yeah.
That thing was. That game looks sick as shit. Inshallah, we will see the death of Dark Souls games. Not that I don't. I mean, like, Souls-likes are cool.
I will pray on the opposite side. Sarah and I will have to have a fierce prayer battle
we'll
against
have
each
a
other.
prayer battle. I pray for the death of Souls-likes, but only so that we can get more Devil May Cry likes again.
Look,
I'm wilting. We have so many fucking Souls-likes.
We just need, we just need beat-em-ups to return, which is why RGG Studios is working on like 3 games simultaneously.
Look, we got both here because we did see what's it called here? We did see that Arthurian Devil May Cry style game. Tides of Annihilation, that's it.
Yeah, it looks good as fuck.
Yeah.
We also saw the Lies of P DLC, which looks really cool.
Yeah. That game is hard as shit, though. There's no universe where I'm going. Because, like, even people who are good at Souls-like games are like, no, Lies of P is really fucking hard.
Yeah, because Lies of P is like, no, we don't really care about doing the exploration thing. It's literally just like, you like Bloodborne, right? We're gonna like really dial in on the specific things Bloodborne focuses on. Way less exploration, way harder combat.
We also, speaking of Dark Souls, we saw more of Hell Is Us.
Oh yeah,
the Trucker Souls.
Trucker Souls, yeah. That game looks cool. I'm actually enthusiastic about the one. I mean, I'm gonna be bad at it, but it's fine.
They announced Onimusha 2 remaster, and we saw a trailer for Onimusha Way of the Sword.
Yes.
Musashi is beautiful in any universe.
Yes, he is.
Even if it's normal cisgender Musashi and not our beautiful wife.
Look, Musashi is Musashi. If you can't
Yeah.
love Musashi at his cis, you can't love him at her trans.
I think constantly about the great fan art someone made, which is Vagabond Musashi looking in the mirror to see a Fate Musashi smiling back at him.
Yeah.
We also saw the Dynasty Warriors roguelike,
Oh yeah, that
Which-
game's kind of sick.
which looks really fun.
Yeah, that's out. That's been out.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah,
That is out.
That came
that
out
was one of the
same day.
ones where like the trailer was like, yeah, out now. By the way, go have some. Go. Fun.
Noted psycho from other podcasts and video games says it's apparently pretty good.
Okay.
We saw a weird game called Dreams of Another.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
that's the one where everyone looked like they were made of clouds or whatever.
Like the
right?
voxel thing where you shoot your machine gun to make things.
It looks so insane with the fucking realistic machine gun. I don't know
Yeah.
about that one, Chief.
I'm interested to learn more about it because I feel like I learned nothing about it from that trailer.
I don't think there's anything
Yeah.
to learn. Like you obviously would not. You have to. That feels like a game you have to play to be like. It's either going to be one of those things where like you play it and you go, "Shut up, go play this game right now. Drop what you're
Right.
doing and go play it. I can't tell you anything about it. Go play it."
I think
Right.
I think the phrase that I put it best was like either it's going to be Cave Story or it's going to be Braid.
Yeah.
Mm.
That is one that's by a specific like known quantity that's from Pixel Junk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like that's like it is going to be a real ass video game of some kind
Mhm.
probably. Like that's an actual developer with like a reputation, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows what it'll actually be.
Mm-hmm.
I want to also say that Tides of Annihilation before we move on because there's nothing else really to report on this. But Tides of Annihilation is another game that I think tricked us.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're like, oh, it's gonna be a slow third person open world, exploring game where you
Yeah.
walk around with limited. Oh my god, it's Devil May Cry.
Yeah, when they started showing like air combos and shit, like because like you see it and it aesthetically is a Souls-like game, and I'm like, okay, it's another Souls-like game. People love Souls-like games.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for them. And then they showed a fucking air combo, and I was like,
Yeah.
what? Wait.
And then
wait.
she has stands.
She's got stands. There are air combos. It looks peak, folks.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that game is good. I really
It
like. for that
looks
game to be good.
really good.
There's one other that I think got announced there that I wanted to bring up because I care about it, which is
Go
they
for it.
showed off the trailer for Metal Eden, which for whatever little else we know about Metal Eden, the important thing to know is that this is the next game from the studio that developed Ruiner in 2018.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
It has the same art director, I think. I don't know if there's a lot of the same people there because like that studio had some layoffs like a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's the same art director, might be same universe, not sure. But Ruiner kicks ass, so I'm
Yeah.
excited for whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, Ruiner was really good. I played a little bit of that. Next, everything we learned about Okami 2 from an interview with its creators. This is just a really good interview with Hideki Kamiya. The game is being made in the RE engine, which
Cool.
further convinces me the RE engine is magic.
If it can still do like painterly things and look good, I'm actually really enthusiastic.
I mean,
about
Street
that.
Fighter 6 says, yeah, odds are good they
Yeah.
Yeah,
can.
that's a good
Hon-
point. Yeah.
Honestly, I think Capcom's just really good at developing like internal, like in-house publisher engines that are really robust. Because like
Mhm.
MT Framework was also the same way, right?
Yeah,
Where, like,
that's
You
true.
could just do anything on MT Framework, and it seems like you can just do anything on RE Engine.
That's insane to me that like so many other developers fall into the death trap that is we're gonna make our own engine.
Yeah.
And Capcom's done it twice now, and they're both great, right? Like they
Mhm.
run, I mean, fantastic, and they look good. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what black magic did you do, Capcom, to make this
Yeah.
happen?
I guess part of it is because since they're a publisher, they have the ability to go, we are going to put out like 2 different games a year
Mhm.
that use this engine. And as a result, we can actually make the most of it and improve on it instead of going, we're going to make our own engine and then develop one game and then not develop another game for like 6 years.
Right, and by then that engine
Hmm.
will be out of date, and we won't know like how to improve it. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's true.
The interview has also said that this is going to be a direct sequel following immediately after the events of the first game.
Okay.
and
which
that
is crazy,
and that they are
Okamiden already came out.
Well, they are politely nodding in the direction of Okamiden.
I see.
And
okay.
they're going to leave it at that.
It seems like maybe they're suggesting that Okami 2 will be an interquel between those two games. Because like Okamiden is also explicitly a direct sequel. You don't need to play Okamiden.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to politely nod their head, and they're going to wave at Okamiden, and they're going to keep working on Okami 2.
Right. That game is not getting acknowledged at all. It's getting Devil May Cry 2'd. Yeah.
If we're lucky, we'll get like a skin that lets you play as Chibi Tarasu instead of Amaterasu.
They have also said that it is very early in development.
I am not surprised.
So be patient.
It's gonna be 3 or 4 years, probably.
It's gonna be a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Kamiya probably only just finished rounding out his fucking non-compete clause or whatever in Platinum, right? So like, there's no way this had any pre-work done on it before they announced it.
Now I have a feeling that Kamiya has been developing the Okami sequel in his brain for the past 15 years.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done any actual work on it.
Yeah.
It's a highly relatable Kamiya song.
I understand.
Yeah. No, I me too, buddy.
It does make you go like, man, the problem is that we can't. I wonder what he's gonna do if ever like he gets the green light to do a Beautiful Joe 3. Because Wonderful 101 happened, and that basically was what his plans were for Beautiful Joe 3.
Right. I mean, then you just make Wonderful 101 too, right?
Yeah, you make Wonderful 102.
But I'd rather have Beautiful Joe 3.
I would also rather have Beautiful Joe 3.
God, I miss Beautiful Joe.
So I've been kind of idling with Okami as well, like, you know, here and there, but Pirate Yakuza came out, so I've been playing that instead. And I did get to a point where a character in Okami says the phrase, just go for it. And like a fucking Russian deep sea agent, that phrase triggered memories for Beautiful Joe in my head.
That's right.
Next, blindfolded Super Mario 64 speedrunner gets near world record pace, doesn't realize the run's been invalidated by a broken webcam until it's over.
No!
That's
famous,
so sad.
Famous blindfolded runner Bubzia started a run. The run is about 90 minutes long blindfolded for a full 70-star run.
Yeah.
At around 23 minutes in, the webcam turned off during the stream. And obviously, because he's blindfolded, he has no way of knowing this.
That's
Chat can't get in touch with him because you learn audio cues. You can't have any kind of audio cue.
You can't have people doing like voice to text or text
right.
to voice or whatever because it'll fuck with you.
Yeah. And you obviously can't see the screen to see your stream is broken. Fortunately, quote, you know, in big quotes, he did not get the record in this run.
Sure. Imagine if he had.
And like the article mentions, like people were in chat were willing him to fail just so that like we wouldn't have to contend with a world record being invalidated like this.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, he didn't realize until after he had hit time and took the blindfold off that the camera had broken.
Oh, that's brutal. Okay.
Yeah. So better luck next time, man.
I find this really relatable because when I was streaming Sorry, We're Closed, there was an entire hour of that stream where I accidentally pressed Discord mute, and like OBS, if it's on, it mutes Discord sounds that aren't the call. And so I just didn't know. And so my little PNG tuber wasn't working for like an entire hour of that stream.
Oh, no.
And that's exactly as high stakes as doing a blindfolded Super Mario 64 speed.
Exactly as high stakes. Yes, that's correct.
Maybe even more high stakes, Saturn.
because I'm the one who suffered, which means
exactly. That's much more important.
You've got to remember you've got to remember the rule, Saturn, that Pat and Wooly talked about when streaming, which is always check before you hit play. Always double check, because the one time you don't check will be the time it doesn't work and you have to throw yourself out of a window.
Well, no, this was an accident because you started the stream and it was working, and then you accidentally muted yourself.
Yeah, what happens is, and I've since remapped it. My Discord push to mute for the very longest time has been keyed to tilde, because I needed it to be kind of close for when I was doing like Destiny raids and stuff like that. And at some point, and like normally it's fine if I accidentally press it because I'll hear Discord make the little bloop noise that goes like, "Hey, you just muted," and I'll know. But when no one else is on call to acknowledge that I am no longer talking, and I don't hear the sound, and like my gameplay is covering the monitor, because like I don't have a 2-monitor setup, so I'm literally just like, I have OBS up, and then I have like a window of the game fitting over where it is in OBS, right? And then I just look and like, how long has my fucking ship been broken for?
How long has my little guy been silent? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Just as important as a Mario.
Just as important.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck that guy and his place on the news. This is my news story now.
That's right.
The news is that happened to me like 2+ weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're still mad about it.
Yeah.
Next, a bit of bad news. Victor Antonov, the visionary artist who defined Half-Life 2 and Dishonored, has died.
Died at 52.
52.
Fucking sucks. This guy is such a fucking...
legend.
Fucking so much of Half-Life 2 and like what it is defined by its visual design.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, no.
Because like Half-Life 1 already was like trying for a certain kind of like verisimilitude to like the real world that other video games weren't really doing, and then Half-Life 2 is doing that but more, and that's kind of like part of its whole like mystique and aura.
The thing about Half-Life 2 is that it's a lot like figure skating, in which you don't appreciate how much went into making that game look effortless.
Right.
I think it's safe to say that like the look of Half-Life 2 is like one of those things where it's like, if this had looked any different, all of gaming would look different.
Yeah. Very tragic to lose someone who's done so much work.
And then also,
for the industry.
Also he also is responsible for Dishonored, which is like one of the cooler like game, like world aesthetics that they've had, that we've had in an extremely long time. It's like a game that like is so kind of backwards, like influential, and it's like a game that like Dishonored is fine. I think it's a really good game that came out on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. So it's a 7th gen game, right? But like so much of Dishonored is like influential now in so many spaces just because of its extremely unique visual style. Right?
Like,
and
you wouldn't have Forged in the Dark without
No,
Dishonored.
literally.
I feel like Dishonored's also like the 7th gen game that kind of brought back the idea of like, I mean, except with the exception of TF2, I guess, like the idea of having like the painterly looking style on your 3D. Like, I feel like there's good odds like League of Legends wouldn't have looked like that if there wasn't Dishonored.
There's so much.
For sure.
Yeah. There's just so much in that game that is influential just going forward that it's fucking insane. I mean, it's like, you've got stuff like Gloomwood and other kind of diesel or like oil punk kind of not roguelike, the other one, immersive sim games, right? And like, they're all drawing from Thief, but they're even more specifically drawing from like Dishonored doing a pastiche of Thief's like book, right? And it's crazy. It's so 52 is so young. It sucks. I hate it.
Looking at his additional credits here as well, he was an art director on Wolfenstein: The New Order, and he had hands on Fallout 4, Doom, and Prey.
Man.
Yeah, he was doing consulting work for like the big Bethesda heavy hitters for most of a decade.
Very tragic.
It fucking sucks, man.
And he got his start as a map artist for Redneck Rampage.
Man, what a king!
What a legacy.
Man, sucks.
This next one is a shot and chaser 2-pair.
Okay.
Quote, it hasn't evolved as much as it should have. Overwatch 2 director says Marvel Rivals adds pressure to improve.
Oh, word? Now that you have
really?
competition, you actually have to be good instead of shit.
Wow, really? You have to think about it now? Sorry, Squirrel Girl's ass is kicking May out of the spotlight. Yeah. And then the chaser, Marvel Rivals layoffs are just part of NetEase's ice cold job and game cuts. You know, because we can't have anything.
This is a politics thing. Like the layoffs are, the layoffs are part of like a huge set of layoffs, but this is also a politics thing because NetEase is based in China and the current administration is extremely hostile toward China, and they're just like, you know what? Nah. They're like pulling out. They're kind of just generally pulling out of like that entire sphere. Although I do feel bad for Negotiate for leaving RGG and going to NetEase, and now it's like, oh, well, that was a mistake.
Yeah, that's part of the thing with that too. Is like, they're pulling out of America for politics reasons, but also like the NetEase president's like, we really don't want to have overseas investments, period, including with Japan, and like when the companies that we're working with in Japan, we're cutting them off. Like, we'll continue fulfilling our contract obligations. They're not getting a fucking penny more out of us.
I could have told you not to say I told you so.
But
feel free.
Because semi-recently we talked about how Hideaki Itsuno of Devil May Cry fame recently left Capcom to go work with NetEase. And I was like, this is a mistake. Negoshi already made this mistake and it was fucking stupid, right? Like, do not go work with NetEase. They're the same as other things like Tencent. It's like getting bought out by EA, right? It's not a shitty, stupid ass China versus America thing. It is, they are big and they don't give a fuck about you, right? And they will chop you. Bloodless lizards all. They will take you out without a second thought because you are not a Chinese developer, right? Like,
it really is that thing of you make the game good, make the game bad, lay off. Make the game good, also lay off.
Yeah, also layoffs. Under no circumstances. It's the same as accepting like an EA buyout. It's the same thing as accepting like any buyout.
Yeah.
Like it's always bad, right?
Yeah, like, don't let your company get bought because they'll shut it down.
Everybody is always like, yeah, but we need the resources. Yeah, you'll have the resources for one more game. It's a miracle that Obsidian still exists. It's a miracle that Avowed, by all accounts, is a financial success right now, right? Because, like, Microsoft will not hesitate to take them back behind the woodshed, right? Like, that's all it is. It doesn't matter. Like, nationality does not matter. It is, you got bought by a big system that does not care one whit about you, right? That's it.
Microsoft is salivating, waiting for the Outer Worlds 2 to do bad so they can go like, all right, Obsidian, that's it. We're putting you in the Fallout mines forever.
That's right.
Like making a new one, right?
No. Become a bug tester for 76.
Yeah, that's it.
You'll help Bethesda make Fallout 5 in 15 years.
We've got to get this boulder up the hill.
Yeah. So,
we already filched the guy who went to go write Horizon to come back to write We Promise It's Not Fallout. That'll be out at some point before we all die.
Oh yeah, John Gonzalez went back to fucking Obsidian. It's incredible. Like,
don't worry, Elder Scrolls 6 someday.
No, it's Elder Scrolls 6 fucking never. That game's never coming out.
If I'm not mistaken, I think recently we hit the point where now it has been as long since the Elder Scrolls 6 announcement as the length of time it was between Skyrim's release and the Elder Scrolls 6
Yes.
Yep.
That game's never coming out, y'all. Like, ever.
Much in the way that we frequently joke about, like, you know, this or that Sony executive being found in pieces in a dumpster somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like, I worry for my man Todd.
I do worry for Todd a lot, actually. And the problem is that, like, this would not be so concerning if Starfield had any cultural relevance what so fucking ever, right?
Right.
Because Bethesda did technically put out a video game.
They did. We forget.
Cared.
We keep
Right?
forgetting they did, but Starfield did come out.
They put out a DLC for that video game over a year after the fact, and it didn't move the needle even a little bit.
Not one fucking bit. Like, modding is not saving that game the way it saved Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's a nothing game. It's incredible. And so, like, that's the problem, is that they thought that Starfield was going to buy them some time, and it didn't. It did not at all. So, whoops.
Oops. Hey, did you hear they canceled that Wonder Woman game too?
They did cancel that Wonder Woman game.
I didn't
They
realize
also shuttered Monolith.
The industry is burning down forever.
Good.
It'll never improve.
They took the studio that made both Fear games and invented the Nemesis system and said, "You're not good enough."
No.
It's insane, yeah. And now the Nemesis system is stuck behind patents and shit and just isn't going to get used until like the 2030s.
Until 2036.
Incredible.
Which I think the only thing you can do is you just have to do what Warframe does and go, "We're gonna steal it," and pray that we don't get sued.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Well,
yeah.
who's left to sue them? The studio shut down.
That's true.
I think David Zaslav will show up drunk outside of Digital Extremes,
throwing bottles,
waving a gun around.
Yeah.
You owe me money, you Canadian fox.
Digital Extremes managed to escape a 10-cent buyout that actually occurred and happened for them. So I don't know. I think they got
bought by Gung Ho or something, right? Or they got bought by a big Chinese multi.
I'm pretty sure it was 10 cent. Let me double check.
But they got bought by a huge Chinese company, and only a couple years ago they're like, "No, yeah, we bought our way out."
Yeah.
That owns. That's
you can
so
do
smart.
that.
You can do that. You just have to spend a lot of money.
If you negotiate for it in the purchase contract, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Destiny 2, where Activision's like, "We just don't want this anymore," and Bungie's like, "Well, let us buy our shit back." And Activision went, "Okay."
It's your problem now. Wait a minute.
And then it proceeds to do better than it ever did under Activision, because Bungie's a very funny company.
Yeah.
They sold themselves to Sony, and immediately the magic spell broke again.
That's right. Turns out you can't sell yourself ever. Fuck.
Anyway, this is why I think Digital Extremes could take on Warner Brothers.
You know what? They probably could. I believe in them.
I would support them.
I would support them in their endeavor to steal the Nemesis system, because that shit's cool and nobody's using it.
I got great news for you. The next update's going to bring a third one into the Warframe system. There's 2 of them already.
Hey, DE Rebecca, I know you're listening. Rebecca Ford, I know you listen to this podcast.
Why don't you donate to our Patreon, Rebecca Ford? We know you're listening.
Only two of us actually play your game, and not even that much.
Yeah.
I believe that you get Steve on the line, get whoever. I believe you can afford Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Listen, with the way David Zaslav is running it, they probably can.
I think if you get a couple drinks in him and promise to put him in Warframe somewhere, he'd sell that to you for a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think you would. I think you would just have to promise to execute Bugs Bunny, and David Zaslav would give you Warner Brothers.
That's okay. We'll do that. Sorry, Bugs.
David Zaslav's just on Norman Blood Feast or whatever from that Chuck Smirk comic, just please, I just want to nuke Iran one more time before I die.
Yeah.
Except it's just taking Bugs Bunny out back with shooting him with a gun. Yeah.
It's just
you take Bugs Bunny out back and shoot him with a gun, and he walks back up front covered in kiss marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh god. Okay.
Next, Final Fantasy Commander decks.
Oh.
I
Final.
I just sneezed. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Final Fantasy Commander decks revealed feature Cloud, Tidus, and more. We got Commander Magic the Gathering decks. They've got Cloud, Tidus, Terra, and Y'shtola.
What? is the different? I don't understand what a commander deck is versus a normal.
So
Magic
a
deck.
commander deck,
it's like a pre-made deck that has a bunch of cool cards in it.
So the way Magic usually is played is you do like a 60 plus deck of cards, and you draw your cards, you play them and whatnot, and you just play your creatures and they fight for you. Commander decks are different in that they are 100 cards. You can only have one of each card besides lands. And you have a commander, which is a creature that you can play, and if they get killed, you can play them again. They don't go to your graveyard. You can just put them back in their commander slot, and you can play them again at an increased mana cost. So the idea is you build a deck around keeping your commander in play. So you do things that, like, whatever their gimmick is, you can enhance and build around that.
Okay.
So the idea is, you build a deck around whatever Cloud can do or whatever Tidus can do.
Okay.
The actual important thing to note about the commander decks is that they are an excuse for Wizards of the Coast to sell you a box of playing cards for like $75 to $150.
I see.
Yeah. They are pre-made, but you're not locked into the pre-made deck. Obviously, you can build whatever you want. But yeah, they are. It's kind of, Commander is kind of overtaken basic play, just because it is more fun and more directed. And a lot of these actually look fun to play with.
Right.
I appreciate that Y'shtola has vigilance. Because she's got magic eyes.
Okay.
I will say, as someone who has spent money on gacha, boy howdy am I glad to not be someone who plays Magic the Gathering, because I would be...
Oh, you'd be in so much trouble. Yeah.
I would be eating heavily into my Boston trip fund right
The thing though that separates Magic from regular gacha is that, for one thing, these cards are tangible. You can hold them in your hand and you can calculate how much you're spending on a card.
Right.
The other thing is that if you just go to a shop, you can just buy what card you need.
Yeah, exactly.
It might cost you like $5-10, but you can just buy it.
Right, that's nice.
Yeah, but I can't get... here's the thing, Ben. You let me know when they make a Fate command deck.
I feel like that's got.
Oh, that's got to be on the line somewhere. If they're doing Final Fantasy, the door is open.
Yeah, that seems like such an easy W for like Fate Grand Order crossover. There's a non-zero chance. I know what you're saying, Saturn. There is a non-zero chance of an Astolfo Magic the Gathering card.
Exactly, or like a Nobunaga.
Yeah.
I'm not like delusional. I don't think all my favorites are gonna get there. I don't think they're going to grace me with a Zufu card.
No, but
like,
they would. But Astolfo is absolutely a meme character, and so is fucking Nobunaga. That's easy.
But you do that, and I'm there. I just need it to be one of these where I'm like, no, I couldn't possibly miss this. I will also say, if you're gonna go the gacha route, less interesting, but I would take a girls' frontline commander deck. I think that would be really funny.
That would be really funny. The only thing I know about the whole commander deck thing is I didn't learn about it until I saw the Warframe dev Rebecca Ford from previous conversation going, oh, there's an Emmett Selk card, and then showing this picture.
That's right. The lady who helps make Warframe, which recently added a dating sim, being an Emmett Selk girly makes so much sense.
Oh,
yeah, that tracks.
I don't know anything about Warframe, but I'm like, no, that tracks. Yeah. No.
There are two funny things that I like about these commander cards. One is that Cloud's is named Cloud X Soldier. His creature type is human soldier mercenary.
Right.
And then the fact that they have to just because it already exists. Y'shtola's creature type is cat.
Yeah.
Cat warlock.
Right.
I saw that at first and I thought it was a shit post, but I'm happy to know
that's
it's
funny.
No, it is because there are cards that affect cat creatures. And so you want to you can't just put Mikote because there's no card that affects Mikote.
Right. That's funny.
So you want to be able to play Y'shtola with cards that say like, X cat cards, or cat creature types can do this now.
Right.
Same with Cloud X Soldier being a soldier because soldier is a creature type that already exists.
Right. Okay.
And he has a little chocobo. They have little chocobo icons next to their rarity.
Aw, cute.
I'm having some connection issues on my side.
Are we?
Are
No?
you?
I am.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Ben, I would stop the episode.
I'm gonna stop this and bring it back. Well, unfortunately, we sacrificed Saturn to make the rest of the podcast work.
Oh, Saturn, we loved you dearly. You tasted delicious.
That shit they were saying about Magic the Gathering, we did not tolerate.
No.
Sorry, Saturn.
Magic
It's
came
weird.
down from on high and smote them.
I will say, it's weird for it to be the three of us again. It
I
literally
know.
hasn't
It's
been
been
this
forever.
trio specifically since, like, Fallout.
I know.
It's very weird.
But we got a couple more articles to get through.
All right, let's
so
do it real
we'll
quick.
wrap this
'Cause I
up.
feel
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Diablo Speedrun Sleuths proved its 15-year world record was fake after reverse engineering
What?
the game and failing to replicate the run in 2.2 billion possible randomized dungeons.
Wait,
Wow.
What?
So there was a speedrun on Speed Demos Archive in March 2009 that, according to the article, quote, featured an unbelievably lucky sorcerer run with a finishing time of 3 minutes, 12 seconds.
Okay.
The run was segmented 90%, so they could use certain exploits and whatnot. But apparently using the Diablo map gen tool, they were able to determine that the seed is not possible.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So they literally simulated it like however many billions of times, and it just never produced that result.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's fun.
The article talks about how the article says, a quote from the runner, quote, "It was a segmented / spliced run and has always been and never was passed off as anything else, nor was it any part of any competition or leaderboards. The SDA page states it's not right." Bullshit.
Yeah, okay, dude, sure.
No. That's not, you don't get to play like that.
If you say technically it's not illegal, then it was definitely you was cheating. Sorry, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't see what the current what the runner-up is now, but
Wow, that thing held for 15
Yeah.
years and it was fake. That's fucking crazy.
yeah. So,
Oops.
don't cheat in speedruns because we'll catch you.
You'll get caught eventually. On a
This
long
is
enough
actually-
time scale, you will get caught.
It's actually a pretty thoroughly examined thing. Like,
Yeah.
people pay attention to these kinds of things. Next, Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 now in console testing stage.
Please.
I'm happy to report that they have implemented Pluie.
Good. I'm really happy for them.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Whatever. Yeah, Pluie.
Sure.
It's that cartoon for kids about the
Yeah, it
dogs.
makes people cry, I guess.
Yeah. I'm guessing this year.
Oh yeah,
Right?
God,
Like,
it should
couple
be
months from
extremely
now?
soon. Yeah.
This is
holy
one of
shit.
those. This is one of those things where we're talking about it now because we're hyped for it, and we're gonna forget about it 2 or 3 weeks from now, and then Toby Fox is gonna drop it on Mayday.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just
Like-
gonna ruin all of our lives.
Just
right?
shadow drop it again. Just
Yeah.
be like, ha ha, got you, suckers.
Suckers. I'm still in control here.
Toby Fox has expressed that he is going through the burden of implementing trophies,
Oh yeah,
which, if you remember the infamous trophies from Undertale,
yeah.
which includes things like, this will be easy, little harder, okay, a little harder now, please help me, I'm out of ideas.
Oh, Toby Fox, what a king. No, I'm extremely excited. Any day now. I'm just waiting.
Anytime now.
Please.
It'll happen.
It's gotta.
I'm excited to have an excuse to replay Deltarune Chapters 1 and 2 again.
Oh yeah, always.
Like that, it feels like that kind of thing where, like, when the new one comes out, you just go play the old ones because they don't take long.
They don't take long. It does not take a long time to play all of Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2. So it's fine. And 3 and 4 are supposed to be super long, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and also, did he do console releases?
Yeah.
At the same time when 2 came out, or was that PC first?
It was PC first, yeah.
Okay.
And then
But
did
the console
releases.
did not wait anywhere near as long as Episode 1 did.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Yeah. So it looks like, I think the plan for now is to just put them all out at the same time going forward.
Save
I would
himself the
assume.
headache. That makes sense.
Yeah. Next, Introducing Muse, our first generative AI model designed for gameplay ideation.
It's so funny. This is probably the funniest thing Microsoft could do, which is, so Muse exists to come up with game ideas. Not make games, just come up with ideas for games. Which is insane, because they can't make the video game ideas they've already got.
Yeah.
You're taking away... You're getting an AI to make the job that we all thought we would have when we were like 12 to be the ideas guy.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the ideas guy, and now they just have like the fucking an AI to do it, but they're not making games. Like they are not putting out any video games at all except for fucking Avowed, right? Like,
yeah.
They don't have releases. So what is the purpose of the AI? Because, I mean, okay, it's coming up with ideas. Cool. Big whoop. Nothing else is coming out, right? It's insane.
What are you gonna do with these fake ideas that won't work? Not make games out of them?
Keep not making games out of them? I don't understand. I don't
get it. I do.
It's just because nobody has found a use case for AI yet, right? Like, that's it.
So many solutions for things that aren't problems.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has a use case for AI, so everybody's flailing for a use case for AI because they've all spent a lot of money on this shit, right?
A stupid amount of money.
And it's not worth it.
Have you seen some of the clips that this thing is churned out?
Oh, yeah, they just look like slop. They look like games that would die on the instantly, right?
It's like, oh wow, you've used enough power to consume a rainforest to make a worse looking Marvel Rivals.
To make just like Overwatch again, right?
Oh wow, look at this Borderlands 2 ass clip. A game that we really want to play again.
It's incredible. It's really impressive, honestly, to just keep making shit that nobody cares about.
The AI thing cannot. For one thing, it can't crash hard enough. Like,
oh god, I know.
You know, more,
Every
please.
Every day I'm waiting. Yes.
It's just they're. I don't know who are you. So the idea is obvious is we're gonna replace everyone so we don't have to pay them. We're gonna replace them with AI, right?
Right.
But who are you replacing? You don't have ideas guys. That's a fake position that kids make up because they think their ideas are really good, and they'll just get paid money to sit in a room and like write concepts.
And like,
I can't believe AI has replaced even the stupid child's idea.
Right? Like who what are you spending this on? Like, what are you doing with it?
Like, who is it for? Like, I don't understand. I'm having a hard time understanding, right? Like, because, like, okay, you've got an ideas AI. Who's gonna make it? You fired everybody.
Yeah.
And the people who still exist, they're not putting out anything, right?
You need to generate this many game ideas if you're making this many games, which you aren't, because the big thing now is AAA games that take 5 years to come out and then have to sell 1 billion copies or the studio implodes. It's
really incredible. I mean, it's very bold of Microsoft to just be like, look at all these cool ideas we have. Are you going to make any of them? No. Okay, cool, I guess.
It's astounding how Microsoft continues to just make every wrong decision possible.
It's a company that can only step on rakes, which is kind of impressive in its own way, I guess.
I can't wait for the Switch 2.
God,
I cannot wait.
I am literally, at this point, I am just at an industry crash acceleration, and it's fucking crazy. I'm just like, no, we need to hurry this shit up, right? Like, I'm waiting.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what the E.T. the video game is for our generation. I need to know what it is that everybody points to and goes, this is what killed us.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost Concord. If Concord was a little bit more isolated, or a little less isolated, it would have been Concord.
Yeah, Concord was pretty brutal, and it's definitely like resulted in a lot of fucking bloodshed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it was a localized explosion.
Yeah, it did not take out nearly enough city blocks, I suppose.
Yeah. I wonder if it will be like the first like major studio AI game. Whenever a studio finally bites the bullet and puts out the game that they advertise is made with AI.
Yeah.
I know it would be really... Okay, but listen, it'd be really funny. What if it's GTA 6?
I was about to suggest it might be.
What if because it's the first $100 video game?
Right, and it just I mean, I don't think there's any universe where GTA 6 flops. But I mean,
it could, and that would be really funny.
I do pray every day for GTA 6 to just flop on Impact. Right?
I think it would be the funniest possible.
I think
that's the funniest option for sure.
I think if they do actually go with $100 for it, I think, I don't know. Realistically, I don't think $100 would make GTA 6 flop.
No,
I do think it would cripple Rockstar though.
I think $100 GTA would at the very least sell significantly less, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
And that would be a problem for Rockstar.
The thing is it would not $100 game would cripple but not shut down Rockstar, but it would obliterate the next studio that tries a $100 game.
Yes, 100%. So.
Because GTA 6 is GTA 6, the game that's been in development for 12 years.
So
right.
Call of Duty thinks that they can do the very next next day do a $100 game, and they flop.
And then that will destroy the industry.
God, I wish. Yeah, no, I hope they do charge $100 for it, because I think it'd be funny if that game wildly underperforms because of that reason.
It's the I have the other funny option. It's the Quantic Dream Star Wars game.
That game ain't never coming out. That game ain't ever coming out. That game is a dream. It does not exist.
That game's going to come out for $65.99 and nobody's going to buy it somehow.
I just don't think it exists.
I don't think there's enough for it to be made.
I don't think anybody is making that video game right now.
I don't think so either. But
yeah, but it would be funny.
That
would be
hilarious.
the funny option too.
Yeah, totally.
It'd literally be like the sequel to The Rise of Skywalker, so nobody buys it.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be a game like Concord was too isolated for it to do lasting damage like that, but a GTA or a Call of Duty absolutely flopping would nuke the industry.
God,
that's what I want.
That's what I want.
It'd be so good. Ooh,
look.
Like, the thing is, everyone's like, oh, you don't really want the industry to flop, because everybody would lose their job. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
They're going to lose their jobs anyway.
Everybody's already losing their jobs. It's fine. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do? It's fine.
Marvel
Rivals is succeeding, and they're still, lopping people off they're putting people on the chopping block left and right. So, what's the matter? You succeeded, and you're still getting laid off.
I think I've said this before, but, I'm the kind of guy who would rather take a lot of pain for a very brief moment than have small pain over a long period of time.
Yeah, it's death by 1,000 cuts, right?
So
absolutely.
Just fucking
get it over
wipe
with.
everything out, get it over with, and then we can work on the rebuilding process.
I don't know what that would look like, but
led by Nintendo and their Switch 2.
That's right.
I'm a Nintendo fanboy for practical reasons.
for violence reasons, just because you want to see the whole thing burn to the ground. I get it, dude.
It's I'm a fan of the team that's currently winning.
Yeah,
because why wouldn't I be?
I'm a Yankees fan.
You're a Yankees fan. That's true. That's it.
Listen, they're gonna win, so I'm gonna bet on them. Why would I? What kind of loyalty would you expect?
It'll be really funny when they do win, which is, of course, as we have often said on The Gorge, if it's funny, it's good. So we're always rooting for the funniest thing to happen.
Look, Nintendo's still an evil company. Don't get me wrong, right?
God, they're the evilest, yes.
But they are a different brand of evil.
I'm just tickled by even on a microcosmic scale, or a macrocosmic scale. Nintendo is still doing the thing they always do with the E3 announcements, which they do nothing and they still succeed at E3.
That's right.
Luigi has been winning by doing nothing for a decade at this point.
It's fucking crazy.
I think for the entirety of the Gorge's existence, Nintendo has been winning by doing nothing. Because all they need to do is show off a Mario or a Zelda, and you forget all the shitty things you saw at everyone else's conference.
It's like, the thing is about Nintendo is like, yeah, they're evil, but at least they're still making video games.
They're still putting out products.
People still have jobs.
Yeah, and they aren't laying off all of their employees.
Yeah, so, I guess they're slightly less evil, I guess.
I mean, they still have Aonuma. So they are evil, but
they're still evil. I know.
Look, they still regularly dissolve an entire human being's existence because they made a Mario fan game.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not laying off 75% of their staff because Kirby sold too well.
Right? Yeah. Oh well.
Turns out if you keep people employed and they can work on other games, they get better at making games.
Yeah, you can actually create some kind of like generational trauma, or not trauma. The other
well, yes, but
also generational talent. There's the words.
Like, hey, and then those people will have the time to mentor and educate new hires because they get to retire instead of being fired abruptly. And then the knowledge of how to make good games passes on.
It's simple. I know. Whatever. Anyway,
speaking of generational trauma.
Yeah.
A game based on cult anime Samurai Pizza Cats is in development.
Yes! They got the old dub back.
I can't believe, like, I didn't remember what the old dub sounded like, so I was like, oh, that's, it's fun, but obviously they would get new voice actors. What do you mean it's the same cast? What do you mean they just got them back?
It's very funny.
It is very much the exact same response as, like, what do you mean the old, like, Fox Kids Digimon dub team is back?
I think Samurai Pizza Cats is a lot like Speed Racer, in which, yes, it is a classic anime, but like worldwide, it is the American release that is more well known.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's the one that probably every other country got.
Yeah.
It's such a weird cult classic.
It's so weird. Like, I went back and watched like old. I used to watch it as a kid. Like, Samurai Pizza Cats was my jam back in the day. And like watching old clips of it, and I'm like, it's so weird that this exists the way it does.
Yeah, I mean, I never watched it, so like I have no context for Samurai Pizza Cats like whatsoever. I don't even know what it was on. What was it on?
It was a Fox Kids, I think.
See, no, I did not watch that.
It was pre-Fox Kids, but it would have show up on Fox.
It was old, like,
yeah, like 1980s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was contemporary.
Mm.
Yeah, it was. I think it aired in 1991. Like, it's because, it's funny because Samurai Pizza Cats sounds like a thing that would have come out of the Ninja Turtles boom, right? Like Biker Mice on Mars or Street Sharks.
But no, it's just an anime that like happened to have a close enough theme that they just went with that.
Yeah, it just happened to be about a bunch of cats in samurai armor who liked pizza.
That's funny.
Pizza actually did play a role in the original anime.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like...
unless it was okonomiyaki, in which case it was Japanese pizza.
Yeah.
Japanese pancake, rather.
Like, it feels like one of those things where it does kind of feel like Ace Attorney to me, in the sense that it's like, yeah, I know it's supposed to be Japanese and set in Japan, but like, they did such a good job localizing it that like, it feels natural.
Right.
I'm very excited for this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a nice little thing to see.
Yeah.
And finally, surprise, Balatro has shadow dropped on Game Pass.
That's funny.
I see.
The bigger Balatro news, like, okay, cool, it made Game Pass. It's already made a shit zillion fucking dollars.
Yeah.
They did beat the Peggy 18.
They did beat that, yes.
Which is very good. Because
they
like,
are free
for like, since the entire time Balatro has been out in Europe, it has had the problem of being rated Peggy 18, so it couldn't reach a wider audience because it had elements of gambling, which no, it doesn't. You're just playing poker. You're not actually gambling. But like, other games,
like gotcha games.
Yeah, like
We're
gotcha
not
games.
Rated Peggy 18.
Right.
God. And then as a celebration, they put out a bunch of they put out a whole new Friends of Jimbo pack that has, it's got, where's the full list? Fallout, Critical Role, Dead by Daylight, Assassin's Creed, Bug Snacks, Rust, and Slay the Princess.
Wow.
And then sometime soon they're putting out a new update with actually adding more Jokers and stuff into it.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. God, Ballatr's so good. So much fun.
Okay, are we done?
That's it. That's all I got.
Cool.
Yay!
Thanks to Visitor Reviews for our background music. You can follow us all on our social medias. Email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. Patreon.com/thegorge. And that's it.
That's it.
Fuck AI. It keeps happening.
Yeah. Fuck netties.
Yeah, them too.
Fuck AI. Yeah. All the usual ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good night, everyone.